You had maybe 3 or 4 drops in this ball game. Just your thoughts on just not finishing plays?
Don't worry about CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee's going to be fine. What a great player. Again, this was a team defeat, and we own that. We understand where we can go as a football team. We understand. I love the competition. I thought guys competed their butts off. I thought that was great. But we're all about winning, and we didn't win tonight, and so therefore it's not good enough.
Man, that's terrible. Honestly, I feel like I can't point no fingers at nobody else. You know what I'm saying? And I take full accountability and everything else that come with it, because as for me as a player, I've prayed for moments like that. You know what I'm saying? And the ball to come my way, and obviously for me to not come up with it, bro, it stings a little bit. But I will tell you, if you think I'm not coming back any times harder than this, you got another thing coming.
So that was Brian Schottenheimer. That was CeeDee Lamb. And holy freaking spit, Diesel. What a football game last night. That's right. I said spit. I did not say what you thought I said. We also have some audio from Dak Prescott as well. A football game that started off like, if I would have told you yesterday on this show, Diesel, that before the game even starts, we're going to have a player ejected, what would you have said? Like, there's just no way that's going to happen, right? What were the odds on that?
People have spent the better part now of 50 years since the first Star Wars movie came out trying to figure out who shot first. Well, we knew who spit first, and it wasn't Jalen.
It wasn't Jalen, but I don't think Dak did it with the same intent that Jalen did.
I do. Because
I just know who Dak, the kind of person.
When they're face to face, when they're jawing at each other, Dak spits in his direction, and then he has the crazy eyes. He's like, "Come on, bro." He's taunting him. He's trying to get into his head, and then, Jalen Carter screwed up by spitting back at him and hit him square in the chest.
I'll say this on the whole spitting thing. We'll get into the game. Obviously, it's fun for you and I to sit here and debate what Dak's intentions were. We don't know what his intentions were. I do know that Dak Prescott, Diesel, when you look at the people in the NFL, you're not going to find, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Cowboys fan, you're not going to find many people who are just better people, better dudes. What he's gone through, what he's done, he is just a genuine good dude. And do I know his intent? No, but I do believe, Diesel, that Dak Prescott, he was standing there. Here's the problem. Here's what nobody's talking about. What was Jalen Carter doing over there in the first place, right? Everybody wants to fuss at Dak because he spit in Jalen's direction. What was Jalen Carter doing over there picking on a rookie offensive lineman in the first place? So he shouldn't have been over there. Dak Prescott spits in his direction, right? And then Dak walks through his offensive line, and they go face-to-face, and Jalen Carter just hawked Tua right on his chest, right?
Spit on that thing.
Spit on him. And the reality is, Diesel, it's not a good look for anybody. But for Jalen Carter to retaliate like he did, I personally don't believe Dak was aiming his spit at Jalen. If you watch the video, it went down like spit's supposed to go. I spit all the time. I'm going to a high school football game tonight. I bet I'll spit 50 times.
See, I can't remember the last time I spat.
See, I do it. People fuss at me for it. They say, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? I do it all the time, right? I just think ultimately for you to walk up to somebody before the game even begins, Diesel, and spit on them. Like, how dumb can you be? He's ejected from the game, and we hadn't seen the ruling yet. I'll bet you he's suspended for another game.
They should have ejected Dak for the first half.
No.
I mean, in hockey, there's penalties for instigating. Why can't we have penalties for instigating?
I just don't believe it was instigating.
Look, I mean, you see the flag all the time when somebody throws a punch. It's never the first guy that throws a punch that gets caught. It's the guy that throws the second punch who gets caught. Even though two guys were throwing fists at each other or hurling saliva at each other. Dak, whether he meant to or not, I still think he did because, again, they're right there. They're face to face. He's spitting in his general direction. He's got the crazy eyes. He's jawing. He's talking trash. And then Jalen Carter spits back in his direction. Sit Dak's ass down for a half.
Oh my gosh. We're so Sarman soft. We Charmin soft. We have a debate on the stream right now. JV says, I think Dak started it. Madcraft says, I hate the Cowgirls, but no way was Dak at fault. If you can't spit on the ground, then outlawing spit. Thank you. Thank you, Madcraft. You, for the first time in a long time, I agree with you.
Oh, God.
First time in a long time. Can you believe that?
Of course you would go this way, Cole. It's your
I
team.
know.
You wouldn't
But
you wouldn't be critical of your own
But
team.
knowing Dak Prescott, as every NFL fan does, Diesel, why would we believe Dak Prescott would be the type of guy that would intentionally spit at Jalen Carter? Like, he's just not that dude.
So we're basing whether or not he spat in his direction based on assumptions of what kind of guy he is?
Yeah,
Come
100%.
on.
Yeah. Do you think?
Come on.
Do you believe somebody
Do we let somebody who commits vehicular manslaughter off
that
because it's a nice
commit
guy?
manslaughter? He spit on the ground, Diesel. You said they were face to face. I want to correct you. They weren't face to face. Go back and watch the video. Dak Prescott was behind his offensive line, spat on the ground, right? And then walks through the offensive line because Jalen Carter is already over there bullying a rookie offensive lineman. Then Dak comes through, and then he's like, oh, I'm just going to spit on you. That's disgusting, first of all. Spitting on the ground, like Madcraft said. I know I'm a Cowboys fan, but, man, you can't just eject somebody for spitting on the ground. I bet that happens a million times during a pro football game.
I got to hose the field down after you're done. All these dudes spitting on the ground, it's gross.
And then I would want to go take a shower.
Unnecessary.
I would want to go take a shower if I'm Dak. That's gross. It's nasty. I just ultimately – I loved it last night. I love the antics. I love the rivalry. There's not two teams in the NFL that hate each other as much as Dallas and Philly. And by the way, it was a really good game. It was a really good football game last night. And that's why the title is Holy Spit, What a Game, right? Like, it was a really good contest. I will say this. Philadelphia is the trashiest organization in sports. The players are trashy. The coach is trashy. I can't stand them. They're filthy, Diesel. Who spits on somebody? Philadelphia does. It's in their name, first of all. Second of all, let's start with this. How good is Jalen Hurts? Good grief. That guy last night. I mean, Jalen Hurts
It's incredible.
Freaking incredible.
Having a guy like that has legs that are that kind of weapon that can bounce to the outside, that's got power, that's got
So
size.
good.
I mean, look, I know that you've already convinced yourself and you've mentally washed your hands of losing Micah. But my God, they could have used Micah out there on the edge stopping Jalen Hurts yesterday. By the way, I'm watching the video right now of Dak. Yeah, I mean, are they face-to-face? I mean, they're like 1.5 feet apart. You got two offensive linemen. It looks like their backs are turned towards Jalen Carter. Dak is standing in between them. So if you're watching on the stream, you got a lineman's head here, you got a lineman's head here. Dak is staring right in between their heads, right at Jalen Carter, and he spits in his direction.
But there's nothing wrong with spitting in somebody's direction because you can't not spit in somebody's direction. Like if I were to spit right now, it's going to go in your direction.
He spits in his direction. He looks him square in the eyes and goes, "What's up?" And he gets all crazy-eyed.
And that's not illegal, though. There's nothing wrong. Like that you can't spit on the ground in someone's direction in football anymore. Go watch a high school game tonight. I guarantee you're going to see a lot worse in a high school game, right?
Mark L says, Cole, take those blue and silver colored glasses off. I'm surprised you don't have that big stupid chain on again.
We didn't win.
Celebrating a good performance.
No, I don't do moral victories. I will say this before we get into the good, bad, ugly. I am very pleased with what I saw last night. Now, I'm not doing the moral victory thing. I don't. It's a loss. You got to get better. But before we get to the good, bad, ugly, you mentioned Micah Parsons. You know, I was thinking about this a lot last night during the game because Jalen Hurts was so elusive. Like when you do everything you're supposed to do, Diesel, as a defense, and that guy still finds a way to get in the end zone, sometimes in sports, you just tip your hat, right? Was Dallas's defense great last night? No, they weren't great. But sometimes you just got to respect the count. That guy's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And when they had one time a shell coverage play, basically where they were daring him to throw it to either A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith defensively. And they're bringing 4 down linemen, and they've got that dude just trapped. Nowhere to go, and he scores a touchdown. It's Lenora Sellers, what we talked about against Clemson last year, right?
Yeah.
It's just that uncanny ability to make things happen. They have that dude.
I'm not saying Lenora Sellers is Jalen Hurts, but he's got a lot of similar skill sets and size and elusiveness.
Just can't bring him down.
If he can find a situation in the NFL that gives him the ability to create like that doesn't ask him or force him to create like that, but gives him the ability and the option to create, he's going to be really good.
Let me ask you this. What if I would have told you yesterday, Diesel, that tonight, Thursday, right? Yesterday, I'd have said, Diesel, tonight, neither quarterback is going to throw a touchdown pass. What would you have said to me? You've got two really good quarterbacks. Nobody's going to throw a touchdown pass. How does that happen?
Who needs it? This is the modern NFL. We don't need to throw the ball to
I
score.
thought I was watching a game from 1992 last night.
But isn't it amazing, though? Look, I know this is a microcosm, and this is probably an anomaly in the course of the season where neither one of these guys are probably going to have another game where they don't throw a passing
it'll never
touchdown.
happen again.
But the fact that it happened in the same game, it kind of makes you feel, if you're a fan of old school smash mouth, run the football kind of football, then, it gives you a sense of saying, okay, maybe we're coming back around and we're seeing, Saquon do what Saquon's doing. And maybe we'll see these big bodied backs being the focal point of their teams.
So I do love it. I didn't love it for my prize picks lineup, but I do love it. I love the old school football. Now,
even through all that, Saquon Barkley only had 60 yards. He didn't really go off.
No, he didn't. Dallas did a good job. Now, that brings me to the good, bad, ugly.
Yep.
Good, bad, ugly, what I saw last night as a Cowboys fan, there were a lot of concerns. We said it yesterday. There were a lot of question marks about Dallas going into that game. The good, Diesel, I have three goods, okay? The good from last night was Dak Prescott. He was sensational. I mean, he was putting balls on the money. Brian Schottenheimer. I felt like for the first time in a long time, Dallas came out last night prepared. What a novel idea, right? To be prepared as a football team. I felt like that team last night came out ready to play the game. Also a good last night. Matt Eberflus defensively in the second half really made some adjustments that limited what Jalen Hurts could do at the quarterback position with his legs. He killed Dallas in the first half, right? A couple of scores. Matt Eberflus was a good. So I go Dak, Brian Schottenheimer, Matt Eberflus is really, really good. Dak Prescott, Diesel, if he stays healthy and plays like he did last night, Dallas is a playoff team. If he plays like he did last night. Dak Prescott didn't throw a touchdown pass, but Dak Prescott was putting balls on the money. He just looked confident.
It's not his fault CD couldn't catch.
Oh, my God. That leads me to the bad and the ugly. The bad, and I thought the bad was bad at times. The run defense at times wasn't great last night. First half, wasn't good. You couldn't do a good enough job stopping Jalen. Now, to be fair, Diesel, there are a lot of teams in the NFL this season that will struggle stopping Jalen Hurts. It's just going to happen. He's really, really good. Like I said, you got to tip your hat to him. However, the run defense at times was not great last night. So that's my bad. The ugly was the turnover and the drop balls. Did Micah Parsons not be in there last night in my mind cost Dallas the game? No. Miles Sanders, in my mind, cost Dallas the game last night. He breaks off that huge run, and then 2 plays later, Diesel, mind you, think about it. Philly was up 24-20. Dallas was trailing by 4, about to go in the end zone. And Miles Sanders just gives you can't play good teams and just give gifts like that. That was really bad last night. I was disappointed in Miles.
Well, as a Carolina Panther fan, you say, where was that Miles Sanders when he was playing in Carolina? Because you look at his stats, he shrunk in his last year or two.
No,
he played 2 seasons in Carolina. His first season pretty good, second season awful. And then when he fumbled the ball, you're like, oh, okay, there he is.
He's back.
Yeah, he's back.
We know him.
He's still that same guy.
Like, God, it was so frustrating because that run came out of nowhere. I think that was one of his first carries of the game, Diesel. It breaks off a 50-yard run. You're like, whoa. All of a sudden, fumbles the football. And then my last ugly was the drop balls. CeeDee Lamb in the second half, Diesel, had 3/4 drop balls. Why do I say 3/4? In the NFL, they rule a drop ball if your feet are on the ground, okay? So think about it like this. Last night in the second half, Diesel, CeeDee Lamb dropped the ball 3 times where his feet were on the ground. If you remember, he laid out for one at the end of the game. He dropped that one too. So technically he had 4 drops, but the NFL only considers it a drop if your feet are on the ground. They don't consider it a drop if you're laying out for the football. But he will tell you he had 4 drops last night.
And they were in the most critical situations. It was the second half drops that were the biggest problem. He had a pretty clean first half, but that second half was just flat out bad. JB on the stream asks Madcraft a question that Madcraft can't be objective about. He says, are the Chargers going to win tonight? And, of course, Madcraft's going to say yes because he can't be objective about them.
I just think ultimately, what have I always told you? Everybody wants to blame Jerry Jones. Everybody always wants to blame Dak. But what have I said consistently? Over the years, Dallas's biggest problem has been the stars don't show up when the lights are brightest. Last night, CeeDee Lamb.
I thought the stars shine bright deep in the hardest sections.
Supposed to. They're supposed to. But last night, Diesel, as it has happened a million times, the stars didn't shine bright. CeeDee Lamb did not step up. You can't have 4 drops in the second half. That's your number 1 receiver. It's frustrating. Nonetheless, Dallas played good, but I don't do the moral victories.
Don't you wish they could fine or penalize or reduce a player's game check for sucking?
I wish.
In the biggest games.
I wish.
I really do. For every drop in the second half, it's going to cost you $5,000.
I'm telling you, it's frustrating.
Man, that'd be a $20,000 fine. That would suck.
Let's go to the phone lines. TA and Gaffney wants to chime in on the game last night. What's up, TA?
Hey guys, I'm gonna tell you right now. I think Jerry Jones making the move or trade for Micah or to get rid of Micah Parsons was probably the best move he's made as a general manager.
Oh my God!
He gets 2 first round. Like he just said, Micah Parsons, if he would have been in that game last night, would not have made any bit more of a difference than not being there. And I'm telling you, that's the type of decisions Jerry Jones had to make. Y'all played the audio a few weeks ago that Jerry Jones, if he did not own the Dallas Cowboys, there's not one sports franchise that would hire him as a general manager in the world, not the smaller football/soccer team in Ireland. No, nobody would hire him as a general manager, but he made a good move. And number 2, Dak Prescott looked as good as he has ever looked. Yeah. The balls were right on point. And I think on that last drive when CeeDee Lamb had a couple drops and they got to get down there and get in the end zone, George Pickens made a couple of really good catches, and he's getting single coverage. I know CeeDee Lamb gets separation, and that ball he had to die for, certainly he catches that ball 9 out of 10 times.
Hey, TA, what's your payment schedule like from Jerry Jones? It's been a week and a half, and you're already drinking the Kool-Aid, spreading the gospel, saying that Jerry's a genius and this was a great move. I just want to know, is he paying you once a week? Is he paying you every other week? How's that happening?
No, and I'll tell you why. He got a defensive man. I can't think of his name because I'm on the spot, but now he's arguably the second best player on their defense, the guy he got returned, along with 2 first-round picks.
Kenny Clark.
Michael Parsons. Kenny Clark is a fantastic defensive player.
He played good last night.
That he did. So you just got to – you can't – this is his MO. All right, hold out, pay the guy. Hold out, pay the guy.
It's true.
That's just terrible. That's bad general managing. That's bad ownership. If an owner would step in and say, quit dragging this out. And Dak Prescott, he's got bags of money from Jerry doing it the same way. But finally, he's got his body in shape. I don't think he had any rushing yards, so he didn't take off for any runs. Which he usually has 1 or 2 runs during a game that'll get a first down when you need it. But
I'm with you, TA.
He was throwing darts.
He was.
Jerry Jones, if he continues, that was just one trade, okay? I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid because he's made one good trade in his tenure. In his whole tenure, he's made one good trade. And I think getting rid of Amari Cooper a few years ago was about as dumb as a box of rock, too, but he had some life left in him, and he didn't want to pay him middle of the road money.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
You got it. Good.
Thanks, TA and Gaffney. Good stuff there. Let's go to the phone lines again. Brian wants to chime in. What's up, man?
Hey, man. How you doing, man?
Good, buddy.
I know Cole's big Cowboys fan, but, it's just the same old stuff we done saw every year, right? They start off hot. What they going to do when it come down to the wire, that's when it really counts.
Yeah.
So,
You're right.
They look good now. They look good for the last 5-6 years early.
Sure.
Then what they do late.
I'm with you. You're right. Brian, are you a Cowboys fan?
No, Broncos, baby. Broncos.
Broncos. Hey, I picked the Broncos to win the division
He
yesterday.
doesn't sound like somebody with a lifted up truck and a set of blue truck nuts hanging off the rear end. He doesn't sound like a Cowboys fan.
Brian, I will say, all kidding aside, you're right. Ultimately, starting the season, if we win 4 in a row, it doesn't matter. I'm with you. It's a matter. It's about what you do in November and December and January.
Yeah, my brother and my favorite cousin, they're big diehard Cowboys fan, has been since we were kids, and I get to rip them every year because them cowgirls ain't gonna do nothing.
Thanks for the call, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. It's good stuff, man. I love it. I really do. I have put up with. I've been a Cowboys fan for my whole life. I'm used to people talk. I love it. I love talking junk, man. I love it, and I wish I had something to say, but I don't. I mean, what am I going to say? Oh, yeah, we won a lot of regular season games. Hadn't won any playoff games. By the way, do you know in my lifetime just how bad it is? I know how bad it is, Diesel. In my lifetime, the Cowboys have won 5 playoff games. Think about that. In my lifetime, they have won 5 FIVE playoff games. That's not good.
No, it's not. It's not.
But
a
I'm
good number.
used to it. It's what I'm saying. I'm used to it.
When we come back, Cole, things are getting weird in Chapel Hill. And is this maybe the biggest mistake of Bill Belichick's short tenure at UNC? We'll talk about it and continue the Upset Picks Challenge next. Our goal is to match what we had last week with 162 upset picks in the Wire to Wire Upset Picks Challenge, brought to you by Ingles. And that means today 50 of you Tolos need to send in your upset pick. We can do it because we crossed the 50 mark on Wednesday and yesterday. So you Tolos, get out your phones. If you haven't yet sent in your upset pick for week 2, now's the time to do it. Go to ESPN.com, find a game where you think the betting underdog will win the game outright, and then text us at 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-326-3663 with your name, the game, and the spread. Tolos who have gotten it right. Corn Chip texts in and says, Western Kentucky plus 7.5 over Toledo. Corn Chip. That's how you send it in.
Does he know, though?
That you picked it?
Yeah. And look at Hurricane Jeff on the text line. Sorry, guys.
Hurricane Jeff.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, man.
Oof. You picked the same one I did.
I mean, Western Kentucky's a good team. Toledo's a good team. It's a touchdown game. It can happen.
It could happen.
It can happen. That's Toledo. Not a bad one. Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. I'm not going to act like I know about Toledo. I have no idea. I don't even know a player on their team. Right?
No one does.
No one does.
No one does.
I barely knew their mascot.
The coach still has all their names on their helmets and masking tape.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how much they know them.
I don't know. I do know Western Kentucky, like you said, they've been solid. So it's 6.5 points. I need all the points I can get right now.
And it was 6.5 yesterday. It's now moved, I guess, to 7.5 because both Corn Chip and Hurricane Jeff have texted in with that game, and both of them put 7.5. So the way we do it is Dan B does a phenomenal job keeping track of all these picks. I copy and paste them out of the text line into a Google Doc, and then he screenshots at 3:00 every Wednesday. He screenshots all of the spreads so that they're locked in. So if the spread does move a little bit on you up or down, you will get the number of points that it was locked in as of Wednesday at 3:00.
I wish it was 7.5 when I took it. Because I'm going to hit, and I would rather have 7.5 than 6.5.
I bet you would. Let's see. Ty Duncan 864. He's going with tonight's game. James Madison plus 15.5 on the road at Louisville.
I don't know.
That's tough.
You mentioned you asked Chapel Fowler yesterday about ACC games on midweek. What is it about Louisville on Friday nights?
That's a weird one. But I mean, I guess they're trying to get as much exposure as they can so that maybe they can chip away at that flex money in the ACC.
They played twice this year on Friday.
I know.
Clemson's a Friday night game.
I mean, is it out of the realm of possibility to see Wake Forest, Boston College on a Wednesday night in the middle of the season? I know. I don't want it either. But that's their only chance of getting on TV.
I guess so.
Right? That's their only way. So it's sort of a self-defeating prophecy here, what the ACC is doing and how they're choosing to distribute the extra money and the uneven revenue distribution. Clemson, Florida State, Miami, they're going to get the highest profile TV time slots.
I'll tell you what's
where
wild.
They're going to get the highest number of viewership. Ergo, they're going to get the most amount of money. But if you stuck Clemson versus Wake Forest on streaming over the weekend, they get no ratings there either.
And it's crazy to think about, Diesel. Think about it like this. 15 years ago, we watched TV on Spectrum. What else? AT&T.
Yep.
Or the other one's Dish Network, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, on a Friday night, think about this. 2025, tonight, we will watch a NFL game on YouTube. Think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we have come, like, you've got to have every app, which thank God, like, it's so easy to access these things. Like, I guess you just go to, like, what I do is I go to ESPN every day in Diesel. I look down at the bottom under the time and see where the game is. Like, where can I watch the game, right? You have to go look every night now to see where you can watch these games. If you want to watch tonight's NFL game, if you didn't know this, I'm not kidding. It is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Not YouTube TV.
Right.
YouTube.
It's absurd, right?
You watch high school games on YouTube.
Yeah.
You watch. Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I wonder if they're doing that because YouTube is a global platform, right? Just like, oddly enough, my buddies that live in my neighborhood, he is Brazilian, been here since he was 5 years old.
Going to the game tonight?
No, he's not going to the game, but as a matter of fact, he is in Brazil. He's vacationing in Brazil, and he's like, hey, if you need anything, if one of the dogs gets out, send me a message on WhatsApp. I was like, what the heck is WhatsApp? WhatsApp is like Facebook, but it's global, right? YouTube is global. So I wonder if that's the reason why, because if they had to somehow transmit it, satellite back to the US, and then they had to
You didn't know what WhatsApp was?
I know what the WhatsApp is.
I was going to say, man.
When we were in Curacao, when we were honeymooning in Curacao, you had to use WhatsApp to reach out to the guy that was renting out the jet skis. That's what we had to use.
You do. I have a bunch of friends in Nicaragua that I still talk to, Diesel, because of the trips I go on. That's how I communicate with them right now. Like I text them. We text back and forth all the time through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But you have to.
Global
Like
platform.
on this phone in my hand right now, I have to have all these different apps to communicate, watch games, talk to you. I mean, I can't text you. You have this secret software we have to use to talk. I mean, I don't know. It's ridiculous now. Where have we gotten to?
But it is amazing that it's all right there in your phone.
Thank God, right?
Super easy to get to.
Thank God.
Alex texts in at 844 fan phone. He just texts in Alex and Oklahoma -4.5. Alex, do me a favor. I just texted you back. Make sure you give us the full game. And it would be Alex, Michigan +4.5 versus Oklahoma. And do us another favor. If you've ever messaged into this challenge before, if you've ever picked before, did you just use Alex or was there more to it? Because you got to make sure you send us the exact same. Okay. Send us the exact same name every time. Or we're going to think it's 2 or 3 different people.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. I don't know that game right there, just to take a quick shot at Oklahoma, Michigan.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. We'll talk about it at 5 o'clock. But that game there has got my attention. We're going to do a weekend menu, if you will, at 5. That's the game that has my attention this weekend more than any other game. Those 2 quarterbacks.
Well, that's the primetime game, right?
7 o'clock, I think.
7 o'clock?
Yep.
All right.
So.
Let's see. Eric B is also taking Michigan +4.5 over OU. I believe yesterday it was a 5.5 point spread. So let's see. Mad Mex is taking.
I love that name, by the way.
Kentucky +8.5.
Mad Mex.
Hosting Ole Miss.
That's the greatest.
That's
name.
a good one.
That's a good name.
It is.
We've got. You said it yesterday. We've got some really good names.
We had a baby eats a boy.
Philip Moore says I have 3 devices going right now just to figure this out. Flowchart. What are you talking about? The upset picks?
I think he's talking about watching the game, the NFL game tonight. I think
3 devices. I mean, that's when you know you got it bad right there.
There
you
you
have
go.
Too much money.
So keep them coming to us throughout the show. 844-326-3663. Of course, we'll get Smitty's pick in the 4 o'clock segment is when we'll have Smitty on the show. But Cole, if you are a North Carolina football playing junior, are you trying to hit the exit button, trying to get back in that portal as soon as you can when this season is over? If you're a player looking to transfer, maybe move up to the Power 4 level, and you maybe had considered North Carolina, is what Bill Belichick and the UNC football program is doing right now, giving you pause and saying, you know what? Maybe I don't want to spend any time in Chapel Hill, because this broke yesterday, Cole.
Yeah.
Apparently a month ago, the University of North Carolina flat out banned New England Patriots staff, and by that they mean scouts, from entering Tar Heel practices and scouting Tar Heel players. ESPN reached out to UNC's football GM, Michael Lombardi, for comment, and he said, good luck, and hung up the phone on him.
Oh my
It's getting weird over there.
You know, I saw this yesterday. I don't know where I am on this. Meaning, Diesel, I understand why people don't want to let people back into the program after there have been burnt bridges, I would assume, right? I guess, is that the way to put it?
But this can't be a recruiting issue. This is Bill being upset and butthurt over the Patriots.
I think there's just so much disdain.
But this is not about you, Bill. This is not about your ego. This is not about your legacy. You're trying to create opportunity for these kids.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
It's all about these kids. And if you are purposefully holding one of 32 teams out, that's 3.5% of the NFL. If you're keeping their scouts out of your program, out of your practices, why the hell would any kid want to come play for you? Because he says, my coach is a vindictive a-hole. who won't let scouts in to see me.
Well, you still got 31 other teams. You just can't go. You're just not going to go play for the Patriots if you go play for North Carolina, I guess, right?
But the Patriots don't care. They're like, well, screw you. We'll go scout at NC State.
Yeah.
We'll go scout. I mean, look at what happened in their first game. There's probably not a whole lot of guys on there that the Patriots want to scout anyway.
It is.
But this is weird.
It is weird. I don't know how long that'll continue for. Here's the question: who's the beef between? Is it between?
It's got to be
Belichick
between
and Kraft.
I
guess.
Got to be. But didn't Bob Kraft just say that when Bill hangs it up, finally we're going to build a statue of him right next to Tom Brady?
Yeah, he did say that.
I mean, that was just a few days ago, and all of this situation with locking Patriots scouts out of the building, that was like a month ago. So is Bob Kraft trying to smooth things over? I mean, why does Bob Kraft care about scouting UNC players anyway?
Here's the funniest part of the whole conversation that we hadn't even talked about. Do you know who the quarterback for the New England Patriots is? Drake May.
A UNC player.
And you know he played North Carolina.
I know. This is so odd.
I mean, you can't make that up. Your quarterback for one of the most valuable, well-known teams in the NFL went to North Carolina, but they can't go back.
If I am somebody who's recruiting against North Carolina for a player, I'm absolutely bringing that up. Aren't you?
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I mean, if you're NC State, if you're Dave Doran and his talent scouts, and you're trying to convince a kid to come to you instead of going to play in Chapel Hill, aren't you saying, well, look at them. They're shutting out your opportunities by shutting out scouts.
You know, I could be dead wrong, Diesel, and I might be, but I just don't see this whole relationship lasting.
It can't.
Like, I just don't think Bill in North Carolina is going to be long term. It just doesn't fit.
His whole purpose for being there was to professionalize the operations at North Carolina.
I think it was for his son.
And he's operating in the pettiest, most juvenile, amateur way that he can.
But what do you gain from professionalizing the way North Carolina's program is ran? Like, you just got blown out by a team with a horned frog as a mascot. Come on.
By the way, since we're doing this game, I was thinking, how many reptilian mascots are there in college athletics? And reptilians, and I'm going to include amphibians in there as well. You got the horned frogs.
Yeah.
The blazers, even though that's a mythical creature, it's still a reptile. Yeah, the dragons. UAB. There's not a lot.
No.
There's not a lot.
I can't think.
I'm trying to think. Does anybody else have a reptile? Like a lizard, a snake, something like that? Why don't we have any cobras in college football?
Gators count or no?
Gators count. Yeah, that's a good one.
Gators.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. No snakes. No. We don't have a snake mascot in football.
I don't know no snakes.
Snakes.
Yeah.
What movie is this from?
That's from Home Alone.
Snakes.
That's from Home Alone.
Snakes.
I don't know no snakes.
I don't know snakes. That's a great scene, man. That's such a good scene.
That's not even from a real movie. If you don't know that, the movie inside of Home Alone, it's called like Angels with Dirty Wings,
and the guy says snakes, right? And then Marv and Harry are trying to figure out
overhear it. Yeah, but that's not a real movie.
Snakes. I don't know snakes.
Thank you. Texter says the Maryland Terrapins.
Do you know what snakes? I don't know what snakes.
I don't know no snakes.
And then the firecrackers in the pot.
1, 2, 10.
That's such a good scene, man. It's so good. Daily Wire's next. Well, it's time to look around the sports world and see what's happening. So much going on right now. Football is back. We have had college games now under our belt, Diesel. We have NFL officially underway and more tonight. Believe it or not, on YouTube. That's where you can watch.
Are you going to be watching the NFL game or college football tonight? What takes precedent?
I'll be at a high school game tonight.
I know, yeah.
I will be at Dorman Greenwood. And by the way, I'll do my picks at 4:25 on the show today for week 2. If I were at home, I'd probably so YouTube's on one, college is on YouTube TV. Who is it?
Not the same
JMU and Louisville?
JMU Louisville.
I'd probably watch a little bit of both, go back and forth. Maybe 2 TVs a night. Not a bad idea, right?
Very political answer.
It is. Or go to a sports bar and watch both at the same time. That might not be a bad idea.
Open a laptop, set up your phone. There's a lot
of
Hey,
how do sports bars show tonight's game if it's on YouTube? They have to have a smart TV?
I guess.
What if they don't? That's
owner's going to have to cast from his phone to the TV.
No kidding. It's the Daily Wires. It's the buzz. While the Cowboys covered the 8.5-point spread on Thursday, the Eagles got the last laugh. Cowboys went down the season opener 24-20. Jalen Carter ejected before the game even started. Spat on Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was spitting in the direction of Carter first, but Carter went full spit to the chest. Little hawk tua there on Dak. He did admit after the game that it was a mistake. He said it was a mistake that happened on my side. It won't happen again. I feel bad for my teammates and the fans out there. I'm doing it for them, not being able to start the game, even finish. It effed me up, and we're going to get better from that. It won't happen again. I can make that promise. So we'll see if it happens.
Yeah, they're going to start putting one of those guards in front of his face.
Why does he have the visor on the bottom of his mask? That's weird. I don't understand that. It's not for the sun. It's for the spit. The Chiefs, Chargers go to war tonight, 8 o'clock. Diesel should be a really good game in the NFL. Kansas City, by the way, is favored by 3.5 points. The game, as we mentioned, will be streamed live on YouTube. I don't know if Kansas City will cover the. I kind of like the Chargers and the 3.5 tonight, but it should be a good game. Atlanta Braves will host the Seattle Mariners tonight, 7:15 p.m. Chris Sale gets on the bump for the Bravos tonight.
Well, they won the last game, so that means they'll lose this one.
Yeah, it's kind of flip-flop right now. This one's not good, Diesel. This next Daily Wire. Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark has been ruled out for the remainder of the 2025 WNBA season due to injury.
Well, there goes 90% of the league's viewership.
Oh, it's gone. It's done.
No one's going to show up. No one's going to come to the games.
Isn't that bad, man?
You're going to see it happen.
That's so bad. By the way, Clark had been limited to 13 games this season and hadn't appeared since July 15th when she suffered a right groin injury in the final minute of the Fever's win over the Sun.
It's Paige Becker's chance to make a name for herself.
It really is. Let's see here. The 9th inning of the New York Yankees 8-4 win over the Houston Astros on Thursday was delayed after umpires confiscated a bat used by Astros outfielder Taylor Trammell.
Was one of those ones that's hollowed out, you can put beer in it?
Yeah, it was actually from the concession stand. After Trammell doubled, Yankees manager Aaron Boone asked officials to check his bat. Both managers talked. Umpire Adrian Johnson, and then he talked to the relay office in New York. Johnson eventually handed the bat to an official sitting near home plate and play resumed. So that's where we are now with Aaron Boone, checking everything. After making it through training camp in the preseason with no apparent health issues and not even appearing on Wednesday's injury report, out of the blue, running back Christian McCaffrey was added to the list on Thursday night. Where'd that come from?
I saw so many memes just last week saying, I don't care what the reports say, don't take Christian McCaffrey in your fantasy league.
I'm telling you, man, that's weird. It's calf injury. That's unexpected. There's been no signs of a calf injury, so we'll see there.
By the way, Taylor Trammell's bat was ruled technically illegal by Major League Baseball, but the league determined it provided no extra competitive advantage. If it gives no extra competitive advantage, how is it illegal? It make sense, Major League Baseball.
That's a good question. We talked about this in the last segment. If you just tuned into the show, North Carolina first-year head coach Bill Belichick have banned the New England Patriots staff from accessing the Tar Heels program. Sources told ESPN When reached by ESPN, the GM, Michael Lombardi, said, "Good luck," and then hung up the phone. UNC Diesel also declined to comment. Wow.
So petty.
That's where we are.
So petty.
Boxing legends Mike Tyson. He's what, 117 now?
59, 58, I think.
Gotcha. And Floyd Mayweather Jr. have agreed to compete in an exhibition match next spring. The event will be put on the CSI Sports, Fight Sports, whatever that is. But details regarding a location, date, and where the fight will be broadcast have yet to be determined. Is that going to be any good?
No.
No, it'd be terrible.
No, don't buy into this hype. How many times do we have to see these terrible exhibition fights and say, that was stupid, don't watch it? But people buy it every time.
Rumor has it, Diesel, this is going to be so bad of a fight that it'll be the open, like a band when they open. This will be the open for the fight at the White House on the 4th of July. They're going to roll this one out at like 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Does the loser, is the loser whichever one kicks up the largest cloud of dust after they get hit?
It might be. Last one for you. Josh Allen has accomplished plenty of firsts in his career. He'll corral another one in November as the University of Wyoming announced that they are going to retire Allen's number 17. The Buffalo Bills quarterback will be the first Cowboy to have their jersey retired. A ceremony to retire Allen's jersey will take place November 22nd during halftime of Wyoming's game against Nevada. He'll be in attendance for the game. The Bills were off that week, having played the Texans on Thursday Night Football. So no more number 17 in Wyoming, and those are your Daily Wires.
Well deserved, Josh Allen. When we come back, let's talk about, a little bit of everything when it comes to the sports world, because you never know where he's going to go. Smitty of Sports Talk Media Network going to join us next right here on the Fan Upstate. Well, let's talk all things college football and, well, who knows what else we might get into with Smitty. Matt Smith of Sports Talk Media Network. Now, Smitty, before we get started, I would be remiss because twice now, last 2 Fridays, TA and Gaffney has texted into the show, said, make sure you tell Smitty that I said hello. And so now I am extending that towards you. TA and Gaffney says, what's up?
Oh, that melts my heart. That is, yes, absolutely one of the great people to ever come down out of the foothills of Gaffney. That man is, he's got as big a heart as anyone you'll ever meet. I love TA. I think about him all the time, and I wish I could see him. But, I'm down here on the coast, and we don't get to see each other anymore. But anybody there from the upstate that remembers our time together, you just know I miss you. It's nothing but love. And TA used to say, one love. One love.
Smitty, where are you at tonight,
Everybody in the
man?
upstate.
Where's Socastee at? What's Smitty doing on this Friday night?
Well, it's Ainer at Socastee.
Who?
Socastee fell to Dillon 41-0 last week.
Ooh.
So that was a tough one.
Ainer.
Yep. And now the Ainer Blue Jackets are bringing their run-heavy attack down to Socastee. So it was bad. It was as bad as as my upset pick turned out to be on the show.
Do you remember what it was? I forgot. Diesel might remember. He has good memory.
I had Sam Houston pulling the upset over UNLV.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
No, not good.
And my backup was going to be North Carolina over TCU. Would have been worse.
Well, Smitty, since you brought it up there, let's. This is not going to be my first question, but let's jump right into that conversation. What's going on at UNC? They're banning Patriots scouts from being around. They're taking on Charlotte on Saturday on the road in Charlotte. A program that is exactly 1-10 against Power 4, Power 5 opponents. Would you put North Carolina on upset alert this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about this. I don't know if you remember the conversation. We talked about it last year about what North Carolina might look like. And I said pump the brakes because we don't know the personnel, and he's going to have coaches and people as part of that program that just have worked in the NFL that don't know the college game. And, it's similar. It's still football, but it's not exactly the same. And we said, or is there too many? Is he thinking about his girlfriend? What's going on? What are the distractions happening at North Carolina? And they were really talking loudly. They were walking around with their chest out and everything. And TCU really, really humbled North Carolina. I didn't think it was going to look like that. I didn't suspect that. So there's still a lot swirling around that program and a lot of questions you have to ask. I mean, is it lack of talent? It looked like it. But North Carolina hasn't been that far down in talent since Carl Torbush was on the sidelines. I mean, Mac Brown left them in a pretty good spot as far as I could tell. And, the way Bill Burr put it, the comedian went on Rich Eisen and he said, can't you just leave this man alone and let him enjoy his retirement? He's retired to North Carolina. He wants to spend time with his girlfriend in the sunshine and play golf. Leave him alone. And that's funny because we all thought, well, the reason he was doing this was, to show everybody, right? To show off that he could do it in college too. And it hasn't started out well. And I thought it might not go well, but I thought it might not go well like 6-6 bad, 5-7 bad, not being able to deal with Clemson and Florida State, and Miami talent bad. I didn't think he was going to get run out of his own building on night one. So I don't know. It was worse than I thought it could be, and it can't be that bad moving forward. He and that staff just know too much about football to not get better than that. But that was gross. Yeah. And congratulations to Sonny Dykes and TCU who took that disrespect card and played it perfectly.
Smitty, we'll get to Clemson and South Carolina in a second, but I want to kind of park on something you said in that last answer with, we thought Bill could do it. Maybe Bill thought he could do it. You've been around sports for a long time. That's not an old joke, I promise. But why can't coaches – there have only been a handful that have been able to do it. Why can't coaches translate what they can do at one level to a different level, whether it be college to pro or vice versa?
Some can.
Yeah.
Some can.
Yeah.
But there are circumstances. I want to be careful when I say this when we do it. We paint with too broad a brush because, look, we all know the story now that if Nick Saban would have gotten Drew Brees instead of Dante Culpepper in Miami, maybe that would have worked out. Maybe that story plays out differently. Lou Holtz took an NFL job once in the 70s. Yeah, but it was the Jets. Was anybody going to win with the Jets at that stage? Right. Jimmy Johnson did it. Barry Switzer did it, but the Cowboys were ready made. I'm not sure Barry Switzer could really coach in college. Everybody says Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith were really coaching that team. Steve Spurrier didn't do so well in the NFL, but that was because he went in there and said in his first press conference, I want to see if what I do works. Well, the NFL model is not to see if what you do works, it's to do whatever works. Do whatever it takes. Go with the talent that you've got. Now, why did Bill Belichick start off so slowly? I don't know. Let's play wait and see. John Robinson had success at Southern Cal, then went on and had success with the Rams. Bill Walsh won at Stanford and with the 49ers. So I just want to be careful. Jim Harbaugh's done both. I don't know if some guys can't do it or if it's just the circumstances they take. Because listen, North Carolina is not a powerhouse.
Yeah.
He didn't walk in and it was a powerhouse. Let's give it a little time. But I do worry that, Bill Belichick, maybe we reassess all this because let's not forget, take Tom Brady away. Just Bill Belichick without Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So now you include the early Browns years, you include the Drew Bledsoe years, you include the last couple years with the Patriots without Tom Brady. Belichick doesn't look so great all of a sudden. So let's just wait and see. I want to give it more time, but that was a disaster. That was a grease fire. I was embarrassed for them, and I don't even like North Carolina.
Smitty, if you're Dave Dorn at NC State, if you're Manny Diaz at Duke, Tony Elliott at Virginia, Jake Dickert at Wake Forest, are you using this situation with not letting Patriots scouts into practice against Bill Belichick and recruiting? I think you have to, right?
Yeah, and boy, is that silly. I just have trouble believing that's true. Is that AI generated that Bill Belichick's not going to let the Patriots, the organization he's most closely associated with, where he lived for whatever it was, 20 years, however long he was there. Come on, that's so, I think that's so petty and it's so silly. I almost hope it's a misunderstanding and it's not real. Let's be grown-ups here. You're a 73-year-old man and you're going to tell an NFL organization they can't come, just as you just pointed out. I mean, good luck recruiting with that. You recruit on the fact that you have an NFL background and you have ties, and you can get these kids to the NFL and get them paid. You're not doing anybody any favors by telling scouts they can't come see your kids practice. I cannot believe that's real, and I can't believe it will last.
So, Smitty, here's where we go now. Clemson, South Carolina, we all know what both teams did over the weekend, last Saturday and Sunday. If both teams are side by side in a race and you're like at the old arcade where you're having to hit the button as fast as you can to make it rise, right? Or you're playing the old water gun game where you're trying to get to the very top. How far in your mind up that ladder, up that scale are Gamecock fans in terms of reaching that high? And on the flip side, how far down do you think Clemson fans are after their loss Saturday?
Well, Clemson fans shouldn't be far down.
Oh, wow. Really?
No, look, I picked Clemson to win, so I'll wear that. But no, they shouldn't be so far down. Now, I'll say a couple of things. We just talked about the disrespect card, and Dabo Swinney in his press conference earlier this week said, "Yeah, go ahead, kick mud on us and tell us how bad we are and everything." And to me, it's really hard if you're Dabo Swinney and Clemson to play disrespect card. You've lost 3 of the last 4 games, none of which were in a true road. I guess you had Texas, and you had the neutral site game against SMU, which you won in the last second field goal. You lost in the last second at Death Valley to South Carolina, and then you lost a close one to LSU. Great, high-level games, tough teams to beat, but you've lost 3 of 4, and you're ranked 8th in the country. How many teams in college football can lose 3 of 4? be outrushed in every one of those games and be ranked 8th in the country. I mean, maybe Ohio State could do it. I don't know. Alabama can't do it. They're out. They're out. They've dropped. Michigan can't do it. They're out of the top 10. Clemson's remained in the top 10 despite all of that. So I think they have plenty of respect. So we'll start there. And that's why I don't think Clemson fans should be that worried. This is no different than last year. Except Georgia really outclassed Clemson last year. But Clemson can get this together. But we did talk about this last week. I wanted to see what the Tigers' offensive line looked like. And I do have an issue there because I believe they've been outrushed in like their last 5 games against Power 4 opponents. Like Texas, SMU outrushed them, South Carolina outrushed them, and Pitt outrushed them. Clemson outrushed the Citadel, but throw that one out. That has me worried about Clemson moving forward. I think that has to change. And Dabo Swinney said it's because they couldn't get into a rhythm and Garrett Riley wasn't calling the plays. We have to give them a chance to call those plays. I'm not convinced that offensive line, I think that's ACC championship good on the offensive line. I don't know if they're national championship good on the offensive line. I know they aren't. They aren't. That line is a question mark, period. And that's what I want to know. I want to know, can that line and Adam Randall, and don't tell me about this week. They're going to run for 250 yards against Troy. Yeah. They might run for 250 yards in 2 weeks against Syracuse. That won't tell me anything. I need to see them do it against Florida State, high-level competition in a few weeks. Do it against South Carolina. Do it in the college football playoff. We won't get these questions answered until November. So I wouldn't be far down because this team is still going to go like 10-2 and probably win the ACC championship unless Miami does. So I wouldn't be down. And South Carolina fans should definitely be up because I think that offense can play a lot better. And they still won their first game, and that's all you wanted to do. That was a pass-fail. I don't know Dabo Swinney was grading this week. You don't grade week 1 on giving yourself an A, a B, a C, a D, etc. It's pass-fail. Did you just win? Just get through it. And now we can start looking. Now week 1, week 2, week 3, we can start talking about these teams and where they really fall in the pecking order at this point.
Matt Smith, Sports Talk Media Network, joining us here on Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson. Dabo talked about the fundamental reads for Cade Klubnik earlier this week. Obviously, you wouldn't think that Clemson's going to need to open up the playbook in any way to beat Troy. So once they kind of get that comfortable cushion lead, whether it's 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, whatever it may be, how do you think Dabo and Garrett Riley can tailor the game plan to specifically drill those fundamental reads into Cade?
I heard Coach Swinney say that, and he was really hard on Cade Klubnik. We actually discussed this last week because you asked if Clemson fans leave disappointed in Cade Klubnik. Yeah. This was a really prescient question. What will be the problem? And I said it was because he didn't handle the pressure and they didn't protect him well enough. But truthfully, it probably came because they couldn't run the football, and then LSU was able to get the pressure. So he can say that Cade Klubnik didn't make those reads. But anybody watch those games, Clemson fan, for just a moment, stop being a Clemson fan and think, how good is that LSU defense? It's really good, right? That's a top 10 defense. Those guys were flying around. They were motivated. They were right where their coaching staff wanted them to be. They played fast. They played hard. They were a ferocious defense. It's hard to play against defenses like that in your very first game of the season. Yeah. So I'm going to give Cade Klubnik a break. Coach Swinney didn't. He said he missed some really easy stuff, and maybe that's true, but that was a tough spot for him this week. This is where we start, again, grading and saying, okay, is Cade Klubnik stepping up? Is he ascending as Clemson's quarterback, and can he really challenge for a Heisman? Let him go out, have some easy throws against Troy, then he'll do it against Syracuse. Then we'll talk again. I just think that's a tough way to grade somebody watching that LSU defense. And by the way, I thought Clemson would win because I said that's a lot of moving parts, all those transfers on LSU's defense. Can they get them all dialed in and buttoned up and in the right spots week 1? Give credit to LSU's defensive staff. That's exactly what they did. That was a great performance. So I'm actually easier on Cade Klubnik than Dabo Swinney was this week.
Smitty, how? He's been there since 2022. He's been there for 4 years now. I mean, what do we? How many times are we going to give this guy a pass? Either he's the guy or he's not the guy.
Oh well, okay. Well, then we'd have to define the guy because listen, is he Trevor Lawrence? Is he Deshaun Watson?
The answer to those questions are no. And that's a big, big, big deal within the Clemson world, because when he came out, there was this talk that maybe he could be that good. No, I don't think. I think he's Taj Boyd, right? I mean,
I don't think he's that good.
I'm going to give. I think he is that good, and I think he's going to have a really, really nice season. But you asked me last week to pick between him and Lenoris, and I heap praise on Cade, but I ended up picking Lenoris partly because of what we saw this week. When Cade Klubnik is not on his platform and well protected and has a running game and can utilize all of his weaponry and be able to just run the playbook, to run the plays as they are drawn up, right? That's what Cade Klubnik needs. I don't know what the analog for that is or how to best describe it, but, in a video game, if you call the play and then the play works out, that's what he needs. When it breaks down and it's schoolyard, the way that Michael Vick used to excel in that, or Steve Young excelled in that, or Joe Montana excelled in those situations, that's not Cade Klubnik. That's not what he needs, and that's what LSU was forcing on Clemson last week. So you're picking on Cade Klubnik a little bit. Let me see his offensive line play well one week too. Let me see that before I start ripping. Now, if you guys have been ripping on Cade Klubnik all day, that's fine. I'll join the show. I'm happy to be a part of that, but I'm giving him a little more time.
I mean, goodness gracious. You're a nice guy. You're nice, Smitty.
Smitty, we saw Nick Saban come out in support of Kalen DeBoer in the last couple of days, saying that he still has confidence that Kalen can get it done. I would say there's not a single Alabama Crimson Tide fan right now who believes that of their own volition. Some may be parroting what Coach Saban said, and that's their own cross to bear there, but falling all the way to number 21 when you get beat by a Florida State team that might end up being pretty good. Are you calling fair or foul on falling that far?
Well, here's what I'll say about Kalen DeBoer. A, he's a good football coach. All right, but now we know that. Okay, and then put a period on that. And now new thought, just full stop, new thought. But is he the right fit at Alabama? And I'm not sure that he is. Because the problem may just be following Nick Saban. We were referencing some old coaches there earlier. George Seifert won a Super Bowl behind Bill Walsh, but he didn't last very long there because he was following a legend. When you try following, Jimmy Johnson in Dallas. Yeah, Barry Switzer won that Super Bowl, but that went away real fast, right? Dennis Erickson following Jimmy Johnson at Miami. You don't want to be the guy following the guy, right? Following Tom Osborne, following Howard Schellenberger. You just don't want to be in that position. And there is no way Kalen DeBoer can live up to the expectations of Alabama fans. And I don't think it's the right fit. I just know he's a good football coach because we saw him do it previously. And I know Alabama's a great program, but that doesn't always mean that the coach and the program are a perfect marriage. And I think this is a situation where it's bad timing, bad fit, bad chemistry, and I'm afraid it's going to get worse, and then he's going to get fired, and he'll go on, do something somewhere else, and succeed more than likely, and Alabama will hire a new coach, and they'll succeed. But this Alabama program, they do not look the way that Georgia looks right now. They do not look the way that Ohio State looks right now. Those are the kinds of teams and programs that are excelling in this post-realignment, NIL, transfer portal world. And Alabama just doesn't look like they've picked up on it yet.
Smitty, last question for you. We did this, I believe, a couple of days ago. Diesel and I were having this conversation. You talk about a perfect marriage. Right now in 2025, it seems to be a pretty good marriage between South Carolina and Shane Beamer. If you look into your crystal ball, let's go a decade. Let's go a decade from today in 2035. Is this perfect marriage blossomed into something that South Carolina fans really hadn't been accustomed to in terms of this amount of success, and Shane Beamer still at South Carolina 10 years from now?
Oh, the world of college football moves faster than ever before, but they have a chance for this reason. Previously, when South Carolina made really good hires, they hired Joe Morrison out of New Mexico, but we all know he died on the job. He was older, not that old, but he smoked cigarettes and he wasn't going to last forever. And he died on the job. Sparky Woods didn't have no success. Brad Scott didn't have success. They were fired. Then they went and hired Lou Holtz to turn the program around. That worked, but everybody knew that was at the end. Lou Holtz was at the end of his coaching career. Then the Spurrier thing happened. at the end of his coaching career. He lasted 12 years remarkably. And then Will Muschamp, which was just a head scratcher, just a terrible, terrible hire. And it's been South Carolina was ranked in the top 10 preseason of 2015. You guys might remember Dylan Thompson starting as Texas A&M. They got blown out, and it was Spurs last year. And South Carolina just re-entered the top 10 for the first time since. That was 2015, okay? And now it's 2025. So I say all of that to say this. What they did right with Shane Beamer was they went out and got somebody that wanted to be there and is young enough to grow with the program. South Carolina coaches, historically, it's been a graveyard. Sparky Woods was only a head coach one other place, VMI. I said Joe Morrison died on the job. Brad Scott was never a head coach again. Steve Spurrier's never been a head coach again. Lou Wilson was never a head coach again. Will Muschamp's never been a head coach again.
That's a good point.
This is their chance.
Yeah.
This is the chance. Beamer was young enough. He was born in the state of South Carolina. He loves being there. They're in the SEC. They've got that chip on their shoulder for being an underdog, and this is the chance. I don't know if he'll be there from 10 years from now because just college football moves so fast now, but this is the best chance. When you asked me this question, you could have asked me this question anytime since 1965, and this is the first time you get an answer like that, but they've got a chance to do it with a young coach.
Well, I feel like today is a momentous occasion because I get to school Smitty on something. Sparky Woods was at App State before he was at South Carolina, and he went 38-19. So he had a pretty good tenure.
No. I said after.
Oh, I misheard. I was so excited about getting you on something, man. Matt.
He was a coach at VMI afterwards.
You're right.
I don't know what his record was.
He was not good. 17-62 at VMI.
Well, same thing can be said, by the way, for the basketball program at South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's why Gamecock fans, there's things to be excited about. By the way, what we think Shane Beamer is doing at South Carolina, I'm not saying on the next level. I don't want to get the phone lines going and a bunch of people email you expletives.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is this Shane Beamer hire is similar in the Dabo Sweeney hire in that it was a young coach given the opportunity to grow with the program, make mistakes on the job. And then if there's success, you can reap the benefits of keeping a coach in that job for 15, 20 years, the way you've seen Bill Snyder at Kansas State and Bobby Bowden at Florida State and Dabo Sweeney at Clemson.
Smitty, upset pick time.
I'm going to go. I love thinking about this now. It's one of my favorite games to play now. I'm going to go with Mississippi State over Arizona State. I just mentioned the world of football moves fast. Arizona State was much better than Mississippi State last year, and they got the win out in Tempe. Now they're playing in Starkville, Mississippi, in front of all those hillbillies with the clanger, all those high school educated people at Mississippi State ringing those bells. I think they're going to be excited. They don't have a lot of chances for big wins. They've got a chance to beat a ranked team at home. So I'm going to Stark Vegas and picking the Bulldogs.
Smitty, you're the best, man. Appreciate you as always.
Talk soon, boys.
Absolutely. Thanks, Smitty, Sports Talk Media Network. Diesel, it's time to make my high school predictions for week 2, and we have a guest picker joining us this week as well.
That's right.
Lee Corso. No, I'm kidding. We wouldn't do that to you. We would never do that to you. That's next on the Fan Upstate. Well, high school football week 2 is here, and it's time to get right into it and make some picks, talk a little bit about these games coming up as we, Diesel, have a special guest picker, Rob Jones, 98.9 WORD from across the hall. I don't know who he's going to send the bill to for this appearance, but we do appreciate him hopping on with us. Can we get this one free, Rob?
Yeah, you can get this one for free. I'll bill this to somebody else.
Bill it to Hendricks. Bill it to Hendricks, right?
We'll be good. I'm glad to be here. It's my second appearance on this show.
No, it's more than that. It's more than that.
No, I've only actually appeared twice, I think.
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm generally, busy this time of day, but it is Friday, so I decided to break away. College Game Day called, wanted me to be the guest picker there. I said, no, I got wire to wire this Friday. I got to do that. Them's my boys, okay?
Oh, God, he's the best. He is the absolute best. All right, Niels, are you ready for this? You going to run us through?
Let's get started here in Region 5. Let's go Wade Hampton and Easley.
You know, this one's tough to pick. Just for the fact of Wade Hampton, is traditionally struggled. I will give Easley the win here. I think it could be close, but I'm going to go Green Wave.
Yeah, Easley's at home. I'll go roll Green Wave there. You look a couple of weeks back, Easley beat Pickens by 3 touchdowns, and Pickens is still scoring on Walhalla from last week.
Rob.
So, 70 points. What else you want me to say? You knew who you got when you asked me to come on. You knew what you were getting.
That's true. We'll take it. Fair enough. So we're both going to Easley?
We're going Easley.
All right, let's go another 5A matchup. How about Gaffney from out of Region 2 against Greenville out of Region 1?
I'm going to go Gaffney here. I think it could be close for, the first half. Gaffney's been going back and forth between 2 quarterbacks, but I think ultimately Gaffney just has too many athletes. I'll go Indians.
I tend to agree with you there. Serene Stadium, a tough place to play, but I'll go with Gaffney as well. The defense really playing good. They shut out J.L. Mann last week. Now, the Gaffney offense did take a hit when Jaden McDowell got hurt a couple of weeks ago, but I think they got enough defense to go into Greenville and kind of shut them down. And Scoot Watson's a great coach there at Greenville, going to do some big things, but not yet. I'll go Indians tonight.
Cole, how much Greenwood green are we going to see in the stands at Dorman? That's where you're headed.
That's
tonight.
where I'm going. I think that's got the potential to be a really good game tonight. I don't know how many fans from Greenwood will make the trip. I think a good many. I think that could be the biggest test for Dorman yet this season, having played Greenville and Catawba Ridge. But I do like this one to be closer. Tristan Lewis, committed to South Carolina athlete, really good player for Greenwood. This one could come down to the fourth quarter in my mind, Diesel. Rob, I don't know about you. I'm going to go Dorman in a really close win tonight.
I tend to, when I'm 50-50, I tend to take the teams out of that region, the Dormans, the Gaffneys, the Burns, because of how battle-tested they are. And to me, Greenwood is a lot of times one of those teams that, they play in the other region. They're not maybe as tested. I like Dorman tonight in a close game at home as well.
All right, let's go same logo, different color scheme. Greer at Hillcrest.
It's true. It is very, very similar of a logo. This last 3 years, Hillcrest has won this game. Before that, Greer won like 19 of 20. They dominated this rivalry, but I will say Hillcrest has owned them as of late. Jackson Free and Hillcrest tonight will have just one too many athletes. Will Young and Greer might keep it close, but I'm going to go Hillcrest gets it done tonight.
I think so, too. I think you're looking a little bit different. When you look at Greer, it's a 4A. You look at Hillcrest, a big 5A. I think there's a little bit of difference there. And Bennett Swigert has done a really good job at Hillcrest as well. 2 really good well-coached teams, 2 really good coaches. But I'll go with Hillcrest tonight as well.
All right, next up, we got J.L. Mann taking on Daniel on the road.
Daniel lost last week, so I think this is the wrong time to play Daniel. I'll go Daniel maybe big tonight.
I'll go opposite.
You're crazy.
Let me break this down for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Daniel has a stretch of games coming up right now where they have J.L. Mann at home tonight. They have at Clinton next week.
Yeah.
They have Seneca in 2 weeks at home.
Yeah.
Critical stretch. Chris Stone, as we all know, is kind of on the hot seat. Okay. There's
Surely
been
not.
those issues with, the fight during the summer, all that stuff that is kind of swirling around. Chris Stone was at Walhalla. He did some good things there, but Walhalla football program's never been, a world beater. I think this is the start of the downhill slide for Daniel. And I think JL Mann goes in and gets it done in the
big
Lions
upset. Big upset by Rob Jones.
Well, I like that Malden is on the road tonight because that means my drive home is going to be a lot easier. Malden taking on Fountain Inn tonight.
You know, this one could be a 50-50 game here. Malden had a huge win last week against Bowling Springs. I mean, huge win.
Mm-hmm.
How do they ride that high? I think ultimately Sam Holliday, quarterback at Fountain Inn's the better quarterback tonight. This Diesel could be a really good game over in Fountain Inn. I'm going to go Fountain Inn tonight.
Sneaky good game.
Yeah.
Give me Malden.
Okay.
They're a 5A. Fountain Inn's a 4A now. And Fountain Inn, a relatively new program. I'll take a little bit of athletic edge I think Malden will have tonight, so I'll take the Mavericks.
How about TL Hanna at Westside?
We'll go a little rapid fire over these next few. I'll go Diesel Westside tonight, coming off of a loss last week. TL Hanna, I saw them in week 0. I'll go Westside tonight.
Yeah, Electric City Showdown tonight, Westside, all day, every day in the Electric City.
How about Woodmont at Pendleton?
50-50 game in my mind. I originally, Diesel, picked Pendleton to win this game. However, I changed it this morning. I'm going Woodmont to win tonight.
Pendleton's a 3A school. They're gonna punch up.
Yeah, they're a good team. Bulldogs have been good for several years. I saw their coach Saturday night at Clemson, and they've got a good program. I just think ultimately it could come down to, special teams. I don't know why. I have a hunch for Woodmont tonight.
Well, this one's a 50-50 for me. Woodmont is a 5A school, but they're traditionally one of the worst 5A schools. They did just get beat down by Seneca last week.
Yes, a good Seneca team.
A good Seneca team.
Yeah.
Give me the Pendleton Bulldogs at home in the P-Town.
I like it
tonight.
Well, we know Big Kev's going to be at this game tonight. Chapman on the road at Boiling Springs.
I'll tell you what, man. Bowling Springs' defense, in my mind, will win the game tonight. Ultimately, Jeremiah Favorite, Dennis Glenn will be too much for Chapman to handle. But, boy, if somehow, some way Diesel Chapman could get this win, it'd be big. I just don't see it happening tonight.
I'll agree with you there. I know that you were going to pick Bowling Springs. You can't go home if you don't pick Bowling Springs. So I like Bowling Springs. Chapman's really down right now from what they usually are. And so I'll go Bowling Springs at home tonight.
All right, we got Riverside on the road at Christ Church.
Rob Jones will be at this game tonight.
I will.
I'm going to pick Riverside. I think ultimately, I know that this is a big game. There'll be a good crowd tonight, I think, for this one at Christ Church. I just think ultimately Riverside, with their weapons on the outside, I think they'll have more weapons tonight.
Well, I do the PA announcing now at Christ Church. So since they're cutting me a check, I'll take Christ Church tonight.
That's smart, man.
Smart.
How about Broome at Spartanburg?
Big win for the Vikings, Diesel. They get their first one of the season. Pretty much all I can say about that.
Yeah, I think they're going to flat out. Mark Hodge and company going to take care of business tonight.
I do too.
All right, we got Emerald hosting Woodruff.
Woodruff, big.
I agree there. The ghost of Willie Varner is back in Woodruff, and the Wolverines are back where they used to be, baby.
I'm with you.
Next up, BHP at Lawrence.
Could be the same thing. I know Lawrence and Greg Porter are getting better. Second year now for Greg, but I think BHP could handle him pretty well tonight.
Yeah, they could put up a 60 or 70 piece if they want to, I think, tonight. Coach Porter's a great coach. It's just not time yet. Yeah. BHP, big.
All right, Southside at Dixie.
I'll go rapid fire Dixie.
Yeah, I'll go Dixie too.
Okay, Wren at Powdersville.
Biggest game of the night, potentially. Rivalry game. Both schools, Diesel, separated by 8 miles. Pretty. We go to that Ingalls all the time up there in Powdersville. This is a big rivalry game, and I think this is going to be a fun one tonight. However, give me Wren in a close one tonight.
I'm going to agree with you. I would have taken Powdersville. Coach Muster's a great coach over there.
He is.
But they lost to Seneca by 3 touchdowns at home.
They beat Abbeville last week.
They did beat Abbeville, which is rare. But I like Wren in this game tonight.
How about Carolina at Berea?
Ugh.
10 guys from the parking lot beat both of them.
That's terrible, but he might. Yes. I guess.
Yes.
I mean,
it's not a yes or no.
I don't know. Who are you go first, Rob.
I'm going to take Carolina.
I'll go opposite.
Okay.
I'll go opposite.
How about Polk County out of North Carolina taking on Blue Ridge?
Blue Ridge gets the win tonight. Coach Boggs gets, I believe, the second win of the season for those guys. I like Coach Boggs a lot. I think he's done a good job. Give me Blue Ridge.
Well, I'm a South Carolina native. I'll take a South Carolina team anytime they play a North Carolina team. Give me Blue Ridge.
How about Liberty at Pickens?
This one's tough.
Well, it's a battle of Highway 8 right here, baby.
Who are you taking this one? Pickens.
I'm gonna go with Pickens.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that Walhall's not very good, but to score 70 points in a game, and they could have done more than that.
No, I'll go Pickens too.
I'll go with Pickens.
Seneca at West Oak.
Seneca, big.
By 100.
Yeah.
All right. Palmetto hosting TR.
True. I think this one could go either way. Chris Kidman does a good job at TR, man, but I think Palmetto gets a little bit of a surprise win tonight.
Yeah, and Palmetto, unless they've changed it, I think they're still coached by one of the former Clemson offensive linemen.
Yeah.
I can't name escapes me here. But they're at home tonight. I'll take the Palmetto Mustangs.
Well, based on what you just said about Walhalla, should I even ask? They're hosting Chesney.
Chesney wins that one tonight. I like this Chesney team a lot, and I think Chesney does get it done tonight. I think Chapel's done a fantastic job up there. They've got some athletes, and I like Chesney tonight.
I do too. I think Chesney is a program that's kind of on the rise.
Me too.
And they've done some good things right now, so I'm with you there.
AC Flora on the road at Southside Christian.
I'll go Flora out of the Midlands.
Yeah, I think so. There's too many athletes for Southside Christian. I think tonight Flora's a much bigger school. We'll go AC Flora.
Both of these teams can score. St. Joseph's at Mountain View Prep.
Two different styles clash tonight. This game being played, by the way, at North Greenville. Diesel, we had on Gray Ramsey.
That's awesome.
Yeah, first home game for Mountain View Prep. They're playing their home games at NGU.
Okay.
Give me Mountain View Prep opening the I guess their stadium, their home stadium with North Greenville tonight in a big way.
Well, you know me, I'm down with MVP. I'll go Mountain View as well.
Yep.
How about Union County at York?
Could be a long one. Long night, Diesel, for the Yellow Jackets. I'm going to go York.
Yeah, York, without a doubt.
Blacksburg at Chase.
This one's tough. Man. Jim Sosby, new coach, first year at Chase. Josh Batchelor switching quarterbacks last week for Blacksburg. I think this could be a coin flip game, but I'm going to go Chase tonight.
I'll go Blacksburg just because I'm going to ride with the South Carolina team.
I like
you guys
it.
Like these cross state line matchups?
I do.
High school football?
I do. It's pretty fun.
We had a texter get in and ask about this one. Zach Wolford asked about Newberry at Clinton.
Could be a good game, sneaky good game. I really like Newberry, but ultimately, man, Clinton coming off a state championship. They've got the athletes, the momentum. Give me the Red Devils tonight.
The Red Devils don't lose at home very often. That's one thing about them. Now, they have lost. They did lose to Woodruff, which is twice in a row they've lost.
Good team, though.
But that's a really good Woodruff team. I'll take Clinton as well. Corey Fountain getting it done. Coach Fountain, one of the better coaches, sneaky good coach in this state.
100%.
All right, we got 4 more to go. Ware Shoals hosting Landrum.
Ware Shoals tonight. I'll go Ware Shoals.
All right. So I'm gonna reveal a little bias. I cannot stand Ware Shoals. There's a lot of personal issues I have with them as a town. Anybody down there, I just don't care for that place. The police chief, he resigned this week. So give me Landrum tonight. Let's go Cardinals.
How about Abbeville on the road at Batesburg, Leesville?
Give me Abbeville.
Abbeville. They ain't
bounce
gonna
back.
lose 2 games.
No, they don't lose 2 games in a row.
Calhoun Academy at Greenwood Christian.
I have no idea. I'll take.
How did that one even make the slate?
Good, quiet. Give me Greenwood Christian, I guess. I don't know.
They're playing at home. I'll take them too.
How about Spartanburg Christian at Whitmire?
Whitmire. A few more athletes.
Spartanburg Christian.
There you go. I like it.
There you go. Rob Jones, guest picker, getting it done, rolling with all the South Carolina teams. You can't accuse him of being a homer.
No, man. No. I love it.
Also
by the way,
pick against the teams I don't like the places I don't like. I do that too.
By the way, I'm going into this week 39-15. I did not do good last week. I'm 72% on the season, so I really need a better night tonight, Diesel. We'll see if I can bounce back.
When we come back, we'll get more of your upset picks and more on the Fan Upstate. Jay Waller from Anderson gets in with his upset pick. He's taking Mississippi State plus 6.5 at home over Arizona State. Let's see. We got Scotty from BMW taking Kentucky over Ole Miss for 8.5 points. Gold Rush, he's in with UNLV plus 2.5 over UCLA. Tar Heel Strong's taking Kansas over Missouri. And Rory is taking South Florida plus 17.5 over Florida. That's the same one that my wife picked, but she's got a beef with the Florida Gators. She grew up in a Seminole household, so I'm not surprised that she took that one. It's Wire to Wire. He's Cole Bryson. My name is Diesel. Welcome into the show. If you haven't got us your upset picks here for week number 2, do it. Go to ESPN.com, find a game that you think the betting underdog will win outright, and then text us your name, your game, and the spread. Looking for Amazon Guy, who messaged into the show earlier this week and said, oh my God, the upset picks challenge. I can't believe I forgot. Well, he's going to forget again, Amazon Guy. You got a little over an hour, to hour and a half.
What are we doing with our faithful and loyal Tolos last year who were really, at the top of the leaderboard, really, really good in this upset? And boy, we hadn't heard from a few of them. We got to get them back. So
collective amnesia. I don't know what's going on, man. One thing I hadn't forgot to do though, Cole, is go get my Powerball ticket. I got mine right here in my pocket. I'm gonna win $1.8 billion tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Are you playing? Do you do it, or do you look at it as a waste of money?
It is a waste of money, but sometimes it's just fun.
You never know.
No, you never know. At least you can say you were in the game, right? I might. How much? What is it?
It's 1.8 billion, and if you take the cash payout, it's like 850 million. Which means they take taxes? More than 50% in taxes.
Oh, I'm surprised it's that much. I thought it'd be less than that. So the lump sum is 800 million.
850-ish, something like that. Yeah.
I think I could live on that. So you would take the lump sum off instead of the annuity?
Well, think about it this way. If you take the lump sum and you screw it up and you blow it all, you get nothing. Now, if you take the annuity, I'm a young enough guy, Cole, that I might have like 40, 45 more years on this planet.
Maybe.
And if it's, I don't know the math here. I don't know what the annuity, if it's a couple $1,000,000 a year, if I go broke, I got more money coming to me in like 6 months.
Problem with that is the annuity. If you get hit by a school bus tonight, the annuity cannot go to any of your
transfer
relatives.
Oh, the annuity, that's how they get you.
Done. That's bad.
But what if I called J.G. Wentworth?
Yeah, you better
I
call
got
him
a structured settlement,
call
but I need cash now.
I don't know. I'll tell you this. I take the lump sum because I was listening. It's funny, like when this lottery gets so big, you have these TikToks and these guys who are like explaining what to do if you win. And, our idiot selves are sitting there watching like, okay, if we win this, like,
this guy on this random app that's spying on me, he knows.
He knows. He's an investor. He's smart. He was in a coat and tie, so he knows what to do with the money. I would take the lump sum, and I would probably, here's where I would go. I don't know if you could do it. I would want to try my best for nobody to know. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if that's possible.
Do you have to reveal in South Carolina? I don't know the answer. In some states, you don't have to.
No, I don't know if you have to. I don't think you do. I just think it'd be very difficult for people not to know, wouldn't you? Like if they say, okay.
If I show up in a Lamborghini on Monday.
Show up. We didn't show up.
I would keep working. Honestly, I would keep working. Because I get bored.
I
get bored real fast.
I
come into work. I'd come in with some gold chains and some bling, and you would know.
Come into work? Are you kidding me? After that money? No, there ain't no showing up that would happen. I hate to break it to you, but it'd be tough to keep that discreet, wouldn't it? Only if.
Yeah.
It's fun to dream about it, isn't it?
It's fun. Somebody's got to win it.
Somebody's
got to win it.
How many tickets you buy? Just one?
Just one. Yeah, I do one number. Maybe like twice a week. Normally, if I don't carry cash, which I don't most of the time, I don't play the Powerball at all. But I just so happen to have
anymore, right?
Well, see, that's how you get in trouble. I will not use my debit card or a credit card to gamble on the lottery. That's how you get yourself in trouble.
Just saying, you can.
But I won't. That's one. It's like that freebase and cocaine video. It's like, I do not base. I don't base. Now, every now and again, I'll have a toot.
But you know what you can do? You can go to the ATM and just keep getting cash out, right? I mean, I'm with you. I hadn't bought one yet. I might buy a couple just to see. And then if I don't show up Monday, and nobody knows where I am, there's a good chance I hit it or I died. One of the two. One of the two. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't say that, Cole. You did get hit by a car not that long ago.
It's true. That's true.
But maybe that would be kismet. Maybe that's the universe saying, Cole, you know what? You suffered enough. Here you go. Here's $1.8 billion.
Be great. What is on the weekend slate in college football? We will take a look at it, find out how good this weekend is for your viewing pleasure next. Keep them coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. We've got to get the upset picks goal hit for today. And Diesel, right now we are at
133.
And we need to be at?
I would like to get to 162 to match what we had last week.
No. Let's go 163.
163. Okay, how about that? So we need 30 more picks before the show is over.
30 more picks before the show, which is doable.
It is doable.
And I think we could get 30 in this hour. You know what I mean? I think we could do it.
Get into this thing, Tolos. It's a lot of fun to play. It's hard. Doesn't cost you anything. It's completely free to play. You just got to remember to be here every week to be involved in it.
You do. You have to be here. Keep playing. Don't forget, send your picks in 844-326-3663. We want to hear from you and get those upset picks in. If you're just getting off work on this Friday, your weekend is getting started. We'll welcome into the show. He's Diesel. I'm Cole Bryson. Hour number 3 of the show coming at you tonight. Again, reminder, no Burns football tonight. That's why I'm here in the Ingalls Market studios. Burns is off this week. No broadcast tonight. I am going to go catch a game tonight, and then we'll be back next week at Greer. So, reminder, no Burns football tonight. Do remember that the Saturday morning scramble tomorrow morning will be live 8 to 10 a.m. on the Fan Upstate. We'll be at Ingalls on the west side of Spartanburg. That's the Warren Abernathy Highway store. So we hope to see you there tomorrow morning if you want to stop by and talk a little high school football. But Diesel, college football weekend number 3. That's what we call it, right? We use numbers that start at 1. We know that it's still week 2, right? But this is the 3rd week we've had college football. Nonetheless, here we go. How great is the slate this weekend? We find out right now as we take a look at the best time slots. And those time slots in college football start tonight. There are 4 games tonight in college football. Starts at 7 o'clock with James Madison and Louisville going at it. 7:30, Western Illinois and Northwestern. 7:30, Northern Illinois and Maryland. And at 9 o'clock, Eastern Washington versus Boise State, who's 0-1. And Diesel tonight, Boise State, a 31.5-point favorite.
Yeah, they're going to bounce back. Eastern Washington might have my favorite logo.
It is cool. I'm looking at it.
In FCS football. If you haven't seen it, it's an eagle. It's an eagle that has EWU baked into the E and the W baked into the wings. And then the U is like the tail.
Yeah, that's pretty
cool.
So
You got an E on the right wing, a W on the left wing, and the U is the tail. Is EWU, I think EWU is the team that has the red football field, right?
Maybe so. And they're playing us a team with a blue football field tonight. How about that? They
do. Yes, they do have the red football field. Oh, that's odd.
That is cool. So the game tonight, if you're a college football fan and you want to watch some college football tonight, you have 1-0 James Madison, 1-0 Louisville, Miller Moss in action. They look pretty good, Diesel, last Saturday. Louisville tonight is a 15.5-point favorite. The total is set at 54.5 on that game tonight. Is there any way in your mind that we could see an upset? I know we've had a few Tolos choose this game in the upset picks challenge, which, by the way, if it did hit, you'd be near the top of the leaderboard just like that with 15.5 points. I think that's what it was on Wednesday when the lines were locked in by DB. But, you know, you're familiar with JMU. They've got athletes.
Yeah.
They always do. They're a good program. I just don't know tonight. Will they have the depth, in my mind, to sustain 4 quarters against Louisville?
Well, they beat Weber State 45-10 last week. So any team is putting up 45 points. That's 2 touchdowns in the first, 2 touchdowns in the second, a field goal in the third, and 2 touchdowns in the fourth. If you can score that consistently all game long, even as your backups go in, I think you got a pretty solid football team. Again, it is against the Weber State Wildcats, so who knows really what you got if you're James Madison. But their quarterback, Alonzo Barnett, he's a junior. He's a really
dual threat
really
guy
good
too.
quarterback.
He is.
He's good at JMU. I think they're going to give Louisville a game. I'm not calling the upset, but I think they'll give them a game.
You know, it's interesting going conference to conference here, Sun Belt versus ACC. Diesel, you would look at this and think, okay, it's going to be a mismatch, right? You mentioned the quarterback, dual threat guy for JMU. You know, let's not forget James Madison, and I know it's preseason predictions. James Madison picked preseason to win the Sun Belt. So, I mean, they've got talent. and they're always a good program. I think you could see this game become interesting, maybe high scoring tonight. I think it could. I'm not calling for the upset, but I'll tell you, it wouldn't shock me, Diesel, to see JMU cover the spread here. 15 and a half. That's a lot of points.
Yeah, I think they'll cover.
That's a lot.
And again, it's still early. It's still early for Louisville. I know Miller Moss is a good quarterback. Can he do it on a week in, week out basis? I don't know. I mean, the Sunbelt Conference needs James Madison to look good. I mean, Sunbelt a couple of years ago was the conference of upsets. It was 1 year. I think it was the App State got Texas A&M, Georgia Southern got Nebraska, Marshall got Notre Dame. I think the App State Notre Dame, the App State and Marshall upsets of their respective teams were on the same day. So it's a huge good look for that conference. By the way, Cole, this is a random find the other day. I found a graphic on Twitter that lists the conferences that are supplying the most talent up to Power 4 level schools. So when it comes to transfers in the portal, the Sun Belt is the most rated conference in college football. They sent 47 guys up to power programs last year. The Americans sent 40, Mountain West 34, MAC 22, Conference USA, the Dregs, they sent 18.
That's a double-edged sword, though, because you want to be able to say, hey, look, we're putting these guys out, but they're leaving the conference, right?
It's tough.
What it could be.
It's tough. Yeah, I mean, it's modern college football. If you are the best G5 conference, you're going to get rated the most.
To the Saturday slate we go here. Looking at the slate for college football this weekend, if you have your eye on a certain game, let us know at 844-326-3663. Hub City Spartanburgers text line is open. Phone lines are open as well. This is interesting, the Saturday slate. I want to hear your thoughts on this as well, Tolos. There's some good teams, Diesel, this weekend that are playing some not so good teams. For example, Penn State's playing FIU. It's a 43.5-point spread. Texas is playing San Jose State. That's a 36.5-point spread. Some Florida State, East Texas A&M doesn't even have a spread on that game.
East Texas A&M. That's a school I've never heard of.
East Texas A&M is who Florida State is hosting this weekend. And, there's a reason there's not a spread on that game. I think you can get a ticket right now for like 44 cents.
Do you think their slogan is "Eat 'em"? East Texas A&M.
I like
eat 'em up.
Could be. Their mascot looks like it's I don't know what that is.
East Texas
That
A&M.
looks weird. It looks like some sort of lion. I think they're the Lions. Mufasa. I think that's what they are. Mufasas.
Commerce, Texas. Where do you know off the top of your head where Commerce, Texas is?
I've heard of Commerce. I want to say it's it is close to the right side of the state, very far east toward the coast. Is that right or no?
No.
Okay. Then I don't know.
I mean, it is in the eastern half of the state.
Okay.
But it's northeast of Dallas. So if you were to take, I guess it's 30 northeast out of Dallas or whatever. Yeah, Interstate 30. You go to Greenville, Texas.
How about it?
And then you stay on 30 to go due east a little bit, hang a left and go north. It's halfway between Greenville and Sulphur Springs, but a little bit north.
Scotty says, I went to eastbound and down up the road, South Carolina State. Cole, what direction would that be? Well, it depends who's in the room. If you're talking to me,
loaded up and
I
trucking.
just say, hey, it's up the road a little bit. Diesel would say, well, technically that's I asked Diesel to go up the road today and eat at Pizza Hut, and he said that is actually Pizza Hut is south. That's what he said today when I asked him to go up the road. Are you
down
kidding
the
me?
road?
I mean, that's how particular. Now, I will say noon time slot in terms of your viewing pleasure, not a ton to choose from. I would recommend here at the noon time slot, Iowa State. Iowa's 1-0.
Good matchup.
16 ranked Iowa State. They're 2-0. This is only a 3.5-point spread.
Is this at Iowa State?
It is.
Oh, so we don't get that. We don't get that awesome tradition of waving at the Children's Hospital.
No. I think this could be a good game at noon. I mean, you look around the rest of the slate at noon, you have like
Iowa State's good though.
They're good. You have Indiana and Kennesaw State,
Boom.
Virginia, NC State. You also have UConn, Syracuse at noon. That's
A couple of
gonna be-
people took that one as the upset pick.
Noon slate's not great. I'll be honest with you.
This is a great weekend to, if you got any last minute honeydew stuff to do, this is a good weekend to do it.
So here's the way I look at it.
Because you got the late game is really the only one you need to pay attention to, Oklahoma, Michigan.
These are the type weekends I think it's a good weekend to go to a game. So last
Good
weekend,
call.
I went to a game and I missed being able to sit and watch all the other games.
Yeah.
So like I'm going to South Carolina State tomorrow night. I think it's a great weekend to go to a game because you're not really missing a whole lot.
How long did it take you? So you were at that Clemson game last week.
Yeah.
Obviously, you stayed all the way to the end.
Huh?
How long
Huh?
did it take?
What'd you say?
Did you?
No,
You didn't stay?
I couldn't watch that.
What? It
No,
went
what?
all the way to the wire.
No, it
You
didn't.
left.
It didn't. It didn't.
Oh,
if you were
my
in the
God.
stadium,
Boo this man.
Hey,
you got to
look.
be a part of the All Zeros Club, buddy.
you say it went to the wire. I'm telling you, the Clemson fans that were in the stadium that really knew, like, for example, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, when you watch an offense so
Crap
many
the bed.
times, like there was no feeling Saturday night. And I know we were walking out and Cade and those guys had a chance at the very end. I was watching it on my phone. I never at any moment last Saturday night felt like Clemson had a chance to win. Their offense was so stagnant.
I find your lack of faith disturbing, Cole.
Oh, I couldn't watch it.
Second Star Wars reference on the show today.
You should have seen the Florida State Jameis game when I was there for that one. I was doing the tomahawk chop by halftime. Turned my shirt inside out. I mean, I was up there. I was up there cheering with Florida
Wild
State.
thing.
They were up.
You make my butt sting.
Yeah, they were up 90 on Clemson at the half, I believe. So that's the 12 noon slate. What about 2 o'clock? Anything worth watching at 2? Wake Forest is a little SoCon matchup against Western. Let's see what else at 2 o'clock. Oh, man. Grambling, Ohio State. Get your popcorn ready for that. Here you go. Even better. 3:30, Austin P. Georgia in that afternoon time slot.
Wow.
Clemson, Troy at 3:30.
Mhm.
How about this? Here you go. Oklahoma State, Oregon, 3:30. Right? Now,
That's a noon game out there. What's crazy?
maybe worth watching for a quarter, and then it's going to become a blowout.
You
Right?
got Ole Miss, Kentucky.
Ole Miss, Kentucky's probably the game I would recommend. Now, I will say that's the SEC matchup. It's got the big, the big bad. The only thing, Diesel, is that Kansas-Missouri game might be a little bit better of a game. While Ole Miss and Kentucky, the spread's 8.5 in favor of Ole Miss. I don't know. I'm just saying, watch out for that 3:30 time slot. Kansas-Missouri. I know we've had a lot of people pick Missouri, pick Kansas and Jalen Daniels. Diesel in the upset picks challenge. I think that one could be a lot of fun. And I'll even throw another one at you. Not only do I think that game could be good, I think that might be one of the better games of the day. Sleeper, high scoring. Who has the ball last? I don't know. There's something about that Kansas-Missouri game that excites me a little bit.
I'm looking right now at the box score of Ole Miss versus Georgia State. You probably had no idea who Ole Miss even played in week 1.
Yeah.
They beat them 63-7.
About like Furman
21
last year.
fourth quarter points for Ole Miss. Here's the problem, though. Austin Simmons threw 2 picks to an inferior opponent. Had a QBR 57.4, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I mean, that's got to be the reason why this Ole Miss Kentucky spread is just 8.5. That's got to be it. I mean, not that Kentucky was impressive in week 1. They barely squeaked by Toledo, a G5 team, a team that they should have beaten by 4 scores.
Also at 3:30, there is no line on your App State Mountaineers at home facing mighty Lindenwood.
Lindenwood going to try to lay the wood.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
who is Lindenwood?
So there's a reason why App State is playing Lindenwood.
They need money?
No.
Oh.
App State was supposed to host South Carolina this year. But a few years ago, South Carolina said, hey, we'll throw you some money and kick the can down the road, and we'll reschedule this game. So this was not supposed to be the matchup this weekend for App State.
So they got on message boards and tried to find a team. And there was Lindenwood.
I forget who we had on. They told us how that works. I think it might have been Bob Ritchie. We called into the show here a couple years ago and said there's a back channel portal for for coaches and ADs
So
that
like
need games.
MySpace.com.
Yeah, so they go on this website and they say, "Hey, we're a Division
Craigslist.
We're a mid-major, got this APR, whatever. We're looking for an opponent for this game." And that's what it was. They were trying to play Clemson a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was. Clemson had put this message out, said, "Hey, this is the kind of opponent we're looking for." Furman said, "Guys, we'll play you."
There you go.
And Clemson said, "No, thanks. Don't want to play you, Furman." And but it was cool to kind of figure out how that happens, how they make these matchups happen.
In the evening-ish time slot, again, you grade the time slots this weekend. You grade the matchups. Miami, a big one. Bethune-Cookman, no spread. South Carolina, South Carolina State, no spread. North Carolina, Charlotte, nah. It doesn't move the meter right there. 7 o'clock, let's see here. Western Kentucky, that is my upset pick. And you're right, the line did move. Man, this evening time slot, LSU's playing La Tech. Arizona State's playing Mississippi State, 7:30. The game to watch in the evening time slot's definitely Michigan, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Two good quarterbacks, a lot of conversation about John Mateer, about what Oklahoma could do. I will tell you this, Diesel. I think this could be a really good game. Oklahoma's favored by 4.5 points. And I put this on our social medias yesterday because I was thinking about this game, right, with Oklahoma. John Mateer's got a lot of hype, rightfully so. They're 1-0. But let me ask you this question, and I don't know if Artolo saw this video or not that I put on our Facebook page at the Fan Upstate, but here we are having this conversation about Oklahoma being a, dark horse team to make the playoff.
What a turnaround they've had.
So here's the question that I brought up. Here's the wild thought that I had yesterday. Who would have thought Oklahoma would have been closer to a national championship, Diesel, in 2024 after 2 bad seasons of Venables when Nick Saban retired? Who would have thought Oklahoma at that point would still be closer to a national championship than Alabama? All that talent, all those recruits, all that tradition. I mean, you would have told me I was an idiot, right? If I'd have said, Oklahoma's closer to a national championship than Bama, you would have laughed me off you would have laughed me off the radio.
I mean, you would say that brand power, that script A, that would sustain Alabama
and
for a couple of years. I mean, you would think that those players who remember the Nick Saban standard would be in everybody's ear saying that's not what we do at Alabama.
They were historically bad, and Brent Venables, who's known for defense, they were historically bad those first 2 years. The first year, total yards of offense given up, they were like 118th in the FBS. Run yards given up, Diesel rushing yards, they were the worst Oklahoma had been in 81 seasons. They were historically bad. And to think that at that time, they were still closer to a national championship. I mean, it's wild to say those words out loud, but it takes time. Brent Venables has this guy in John Mateer going against a really good Michigan team, top 25. How's Underwood do Saturday night on the road? Yeah. I mean, this might be the get your popcorn out kind of game right here.
Yeah, that's the one that I will, no matter what I end up doing on Saturday, I will be at home to watch this game start to finish.
Maybe the best game of the weekend, right? Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, look, who was it said earlier this week? Maybe it was Jack Veltri who said it kind of feels like college football got out of the way for the NFL this weekend. I don't know, man. It's not like the NFL is scheduling games on Saturday so that they get their full weekend of games. But I mean, you're right. There's just not as many sexy matchups. It's not as bad as some people are making it out to be, because that Iowa State game is good. That Ole Miss Kentucky game, I mean, that's just a pretty run of the mill standard conference game in the SEC, but it's still going to be fun.
It's 7:30. You also, Diesel, in state have the Battle of the Coast. The Battle of the Coast, Coastal Carolina hosting Charleston Southern.
How about it?
Up there at down there at Brooks Stadium, rather. Sorry. UL Monroe, Bama. I mean, that's going to be a barn burner, right? 35.5 point spread there. Not much going. Let's see what about late in the evening.
Pac-12 after dark?
10:15. Oh. Here you go. Stanford, BYU. Does that move the needle for you?
No.
No, by the way,
BYU is going to smoke them.
And they're favored by 20.5.
Which is something you're not allowed to do on BYU's campus. Can't smoke.
They will this Saturday. They will. And then also 11 o'clock, if you feel like watching this riveting game, UC Davis, Washington. Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
And if you're feeling really wild, you can stay up until 11:59, not midnight, because they can't play at midnight because it would be Sunday, right? So the game has to be on Saturday. 11:59. You can watch Sam Houston, Hawaii. And that game might be over at 3 a.m. Sunday morning our time.
Wow. What time? What's the time difference between here and Hawaii? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, I have a friend
and say it's like 8 hours.
That's what your guess is?
I'm going to guess
you're
it's
close.
Because you got 3 to California, and then you're halfway to Japan. People think it's like it's an island just off the coast. No, it's way out there.
Right now, it is 11:20 in the morning.
Oh, so it's 6 hours.
Yep, and to think 6 hour difference, Diesel. Think about this. I've always said this. I think this would be weird if you lived in Hawaii and you're a college football fan. You want to watch College Game Day that comes on at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Hey, kids, we got to go to bed really early Friday night. College Game Day in Hawaii. Yeah, you're up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, but you're also living in Hawaii. You know, you're living in paradise. So,
but you're up at 3 a.m. watching College Game Day.
Yeah, well, hey, it's
3 a.m. But I bet it feels weird though because all the games were over by what, noon?
You have the last functioning TiVo. If you live in Hawaii, you got to make sure you have whatever cable package you got has on demand so you can go back and watch it.
That is that's your slate. That is your slate. No Sunday games. No Monday, Labor Day this weekend. It's traditional. Friday. It's weird saying traditional and Friday in the same sentence, but I think that the Louisville JMU tonight, that could be fun.
Yeah, there's no other games going on Sunday, right?
No.
Nothing to watch on Sunday.
Just NFL. I'll be
at all.
locked and loaded. I can't wait.
Cole, when we come back, let's take our look around the NFL, see what's going on this weekend that might actually be worth tuning into. Maybe you just haven't had enough with the first 2 full weeks of college football. What should you watch from the professional slate? That's next. Oh, Scotty from BMW messages in on the stream and says, "Oof, my wife is home. Time to go, guys. Good luck on the picks."
So he can't Tolo with his wife around, or I mean, what are we doing
You
here?
can't get your wife to Tolo?
Oh, that's good. I like that.
I mean, Scotty, get her into the challenge. Like, look, the upset picks challenge means something to you, Scotty. So it's only right for the wife to engage in what means something to you. That's what you do in a marriage.
Wow.
I'm just saying, if your wife is into something, you have to show some interest in it as well.
So she should be in the upset picks challenge. I like it. I like it. I'm with you there.
I don't know what his wife is into, but you do the things she likes and she'll do the things you like, if you know what I mean.
Which is Tolo.
Yeah, exactly. Tolo. It's Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson, again taking your upset picks all the way until 7 o'clock, really more like 6:53, because that's when we shut our laptops down and usually don't go back after the show is over.
We'll open them again until Monday at 2:59.
Right, exactly. So get those into us. Make sure you send us your name, your game, and the spread. Cole, as of right now, we are at 144. So we need 18 more of you Tolos to get in your picks to match what we did last week, 19 to beat it. I think we can get it here in this last hour and a half of the show. But it's a great time to be a sports fan because we have high school football. It's back. These kids are playing their third games of the season, but it's week 2. Make that make sense.
Yeah.
We got college football that is here. Some of those teams are playing their third games, yet it's week 2. Make it make sense. Not everybody's playing their third game. Some teams are playing their third game. Some are playing their second game, but it's week 2 for everybody.
Yeah, it's wild. It doesn't make sense, just so you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what are we doing here? Can we just be real and say it's week 1, week 2, week 3? Why do we got to have week 0? No. It's crazy. But, Cole, it is officially week 1 of the NFL football season. It got underway last night with the Cowboys' loss, and a lot of people are saying, it's good to have football back, right?
You know what, man? I'll tell you this real quick on that. I am usually really disappointed and upset after a Cowboys loss, but I'm not today. I wasn't last night. I'm usually it usually takes me a few hours. I don't like losing, but I'm telling you, I'm just, again, no moral victory here, but I know talked about it in the very first segment of the show. I'm not real upset. I feel good.
I mean, your team looked good.
They look good.
Your team looked good. They could have had a little help from Micah.
Thanks, Miles Sanders.
CeeDee Lamb.
They need to cut him, by the way. I'm not kidding, man.
I'm trying to look up here, Cole, but my computer's having a hard time. The Dallas Cowboys record in season openers over the last 10 years.
I'm going to say, let me guess before you give it. Their record in season openers in the last 10 years. I'm going to guess it's 6-4.
Over the last 10 seasons.
Maybe 500.
5-5.
5-5.
5-5.
I was right on it.
Let's see. Last year they beat the Browns, smoked them. 2023
couple against the Giants,
smoked the
and then,
Giants.
Yep.
Lost to the Bucks. Twice in back-to-back seasons. Lost to the Rams. Man, it was tough there from 2020 to 2022. And kind of seesawed back and forth. Lost on the road at Carolina. Lost in 2018 to start the season. Wow. So there you go. I mean, the Cowboys are 500, which is not awful.
Before we move away from the Cowboys, let's go to the phone lines. Our resident Cowboys fan, Dale, wants to chime in at 844-326-3663. Dale, I don't know about you. I just said I feel pretty good after last night. How do you feel?
You know what? I thought the defense did okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you limited Saquon to 60. If CeeDee Lamb didn't let Jalen Carter spit off of Dak Prescott, he would have caught those balls.
God.
We would have been all right.
I'm telling you, man, how do you have 4 drops in the second half?
Man, I don't know. And then you stop looking at Pickens. I mean, Pickens was getting mugged all day, so you could have at least drawn some PI or something.
No doubt.
I mean, I don't understand it, but I'm not disheartened because Dak played a decent game. He made
decent.
a touchdown-saving tackle. I'll give him that. He didn't turn the ball over. I would have liked to have seen a passing touchdown, but I guess I can't be, needy. I mean, He led a really good 2-minute drill at the end of the first half, I was fine with it. It looked good.
Well, look, Jalen Hurts didn't throw a passing touchdown either, you know?
No, but he also ran for like 5 first downs on third downs, which murdered us.
Yeah, you're right. It did. But, hey, I'm with you.
You know, it's kind of – if we had, you know, a living on the field, it would have been all right.
And I just said the Diesel, Miles Sanders cost us that game in my mind.
I agree. Miles, once an Eagle, always an Eagle. Get him off.
Trash. Filthy. Philadelphia.
Thanks, Dale.
Thanks,
Get
Dale.
him off.
Appreciate it. Texter says, Diesel, I'm glad you have a good marriage. We aren't all that lucky. Oof. I will not. I know who texted that in. I will not reveal who texted that in.
Good. Yeah.
Just in case, because you may have something fine going on at home, but if you don't, I don't want to make it worse.
And I do want to point this out real quick because I didn't say it in the 3 o'clock segment. Texter says, you seen that missed holding call? I don't know which one you were talking about, but I'll tell you this. If you want to talk about a missed holding call, there was one in the first half where it could not have been more obvious. And Chris Collinsworth was, I don't know what holding call you're talking.
You sure he wasn't busy talking about Patrick Mahomes?
I can't stand. Did you?
I did see your tweet.
I can't stand that guy. He is awful to listen to, isn't he?
He's bad.
I think I'd rather listen to Dewey call the game. I mean, I'm not kidding. Chris Collinsworth he just is so out of touch, man. I don't know.
If you're Chris, look, you probably hear it from everybody you know. Like, man, Chris, the internet's like all over you for being all over Patrick Mahomes. So why don't you just internalize that a little bit and try to cool it on the Patrick Mahomes love?
So bad. It's so bad.
Texter says, I've been trying to text you all day, but kept dropping my phone on the ground, watching CeeDee Lamb rubbed off on me.
That's bad, but funny. I like
Texter.
Good one.
So tonight's game, Cole, Sao Paulo, Brazil, international game, Chiefs and Chargers. It's going to be a good football game tonight. I know I don't love these international games, but I understand what the NFL is trying to do. At some point, just pull the damn trigger, Roger. If you're going to have an international division, make one, okay?
Ugh.
Stop taking away games from local fans, from American fans, and shipping them overseas. Can we stop doing that?
I just don't understand the value of what you just said. Like, why are you taking the games away? I mean, did you see that crowd in Philadelphia last night?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the crowd. I mean, it just makes this is a division matchup, Diesel. Think about that.
Yeah, I don't like screwing over American fans just so you can grow the game in another country. If you want to expose them to it 2 or 3 times,
tell them to get a TV.
Fine, and either get a TV and watch American football. I mean, or start an international division.
I hate it so bad.
You know, just try NFL South America, get it going. Though in this game tonight, Cole, this is a tough one. I think this is a fairly evenly matched game.
I do too, by the way.
I think it's going to come down to maybe a 7-point game at most.
It's 3.5 point spread, by the way.
I'm not blowing smoke. I know I gave Madcraft hell earlier in the show for not being able to be fair on this one, but I do think the Chargers get it done.
Division game, big implications to start the season, just like last night. I mean, you come out with a banger. I think the Chargers can win the game. I tell you this, I am really interested to see the last time we saw Travis Kelce, he was not good.
Correct.
Not good. That's where I am tonight. I want to see, what does Travis Kelce look like 1 year older? I'm not saying that like I'm giving up on the Chiefs and it's time to move on. I think they're still a loaded football team and a great culture, great dynasty, all that. But I feel like Justin Herbert, if he's going to have an opportunity to go make a statement, I think tonight's as good as an opportunity as Herbert's had in a long time. And no, if the Chargers won tonight, it wouldn't shock me a bit.
Yeah, I think we might see Justin Herbert pop this year. I know everybody already has a fairly high opinion of him, but man, this is an opportunity to go out there and make a big statement this year. I like the Chargers in this one. What was the spread on this one, by the way?
3.5.
Chargers favorite or Chiefs favorite? Chiefs favorite. Okay.
Yeah. And here's an interesting note on that. I don't know how Vegas puts a spread in terms of it not being a home game across the pond, if per se. I don't know if those points, I guess that's truly saying that they feel like Kansas City's 3.5 points better.
All right, how about the Bills against the Ravens? That's the Sunday night primetime game. Bills host the Ravens. Big-time AFC matchup. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, two really good quarterbacks going at each other again. This is like Batman versus the Joker.
It is.
They are destined to do this forever.
Maybe a preview of what you could see in the AFC Championship game, right? I mean, this is a big one. There are some good games this weekend, man, but that's Sunday night football. Baltimore, a 1.5-point favorite on the road. Like, you talked about how good last night's game was, and then tonight should be good as well. But Sunday night football to open the season, Ravens and Bills, I don't know if I like that because that's tough footsteps to follow. I mean, that's setting the bar high for Sunday night football. I love it. I like Baltimore on the road. I will just tell you this, Derrick Henry, in my mind, is going to be the focus, just like Saquon was last night. This one could go either way.
Do you like big-time divisional matchups in week one? I mean, it adds so much extra to it. I mean, if you're facing somebody out of division or even out of conference, there's really no incentive. I mean, yeah, you want to win the game, right? But and you want to get off to a hot start. But if you lose that game, really doesn't matter. I want these divisional matchups right out of the gate. Cole, how about this one? There's some fun little juice on this one. Steelers and Jets, they just flip-flopped and traded quarterbacks. Obviously a couple of years separated, but Aaron Rodgers facing his old team, and this is going to be a fun one too.
This is going to be an interesting one from the standpoint of what does this new Jets regime look like? I mean, I just don't know that I'm totally bought in on this new staff. I mean, Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh, people are going to watch. It's going to be interesting, and I hate to say it, probably leaning Pittsburgh in this one. I mean, the Jets are 2.5-point dogs at home. This one could be low scoring, kind of muddy it up, not a sexy game. I just think ultimately the Steelers, as crazy as it sounds with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, I think they're in a better spot right now.
All right, Cole, here's an in-state matchup, Bengals and Browns. I love it. State of Ohio. Can a meteor just strike this game?
You know, what I don't understand is, Diesel, I'm not a Bengals fan. I'm not. But I am so frustrated with this team and organization. You are literally wasting Joe Burrow's career away. Their defense is so bad. I tell you this, if you told me Monday that we're talking about Browns beating them, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Their defense, Cincinnati's defense, is just horribly bad. And until they actually give Joe Burrow a shot, man, I'm going to be disgusted. Yeah, Cincinnati should win, and I think they will. I think it'll be really close, though. Too close for comfort.
If I'm Joe, maybe I'm calling my agent saying, hey, get me out of here. Get me somewhere with the defense. Get me somewhere where I don't have to put up 4 touchdowns to have a chance to win a game.
Might not be a bad idea. I'm with you there.
And last one here for you, Cole. Good game. Classic NFC rivalry. Lions at the Packers.
Really good matchup to open the season.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good matchup. I know a lot of people are high on the Lions, rightfully so, returning a lot of talent. However, I think Ben Johnson not being there is a bigger deal than people are making it out to be. I love Jordan Love. I've said that a million times. I hate the Packers, but I love Jordan Love. That kid's going to be really good. This is going to be good. I think Jordan Love tonight, or this weekend, Diesel, rather, has a statement opportunity. I think he can make a statement going out and beating this really good football team in week 1, and I think he does. Give me the Packers.
And there's a little personal motivation on the line for Josh McDaniels as well. He's now with the Patriots, facing his old team, the Raiders, that fired him in 2023.
And go Panthers, by the way. 1 o'clock. They always play at 1, right? That's just what they do. Panthers, Jaguars Sunday. Let's see if they can get it done.
Yep.
This is really cool, really interesting, really fascinating audio. I don't know which way you feel, which way you'll lean on this audio, but have you heard what the Grambling State coach said? If not, we'll have it for you next.
It's not balanced in the scholarships. It's not balanced in what they have resources on, what we have resources. And I spoke to the coaches today and said, the game got to be clean.
The game's got to be clean. Pretty much, we know, hey, look, we know what we're getting ourselves into. It's basically what he was saying. And we have no shot. They have a good band. We have a good band. Maybe it's the battle of the bands this weekend.
Yeah.
Can we turn these kind of games into band competitions?
Wouldn't that be more fun to watch, to be honest?
South Carolina State this Saturday.
Yeah.
South Carolina State's known for the band. They have, all kidding aside, they have a fantastic band. Maybe we reduce the quarters to
4 minutes.
I was thinking 10.
You get one drive. So get four drives apiece.
10 or 10, 11, maybe do like high school and play 12-minute quarters, right?
Can Grambling get 2 points just for getting it across the 50?
Oh, that'd be fun. What if they structured it different against these FCS, right? Grambling State, FCS, Diesel. What if they structured it differently against these kind of teams where they did get let's say they got 5 for getting it across the 50. They get in the red zone, let's make it fun and say they get 8 if they get in the red zone. More than the touchdown.
Oh, dear God. It doesn't count if they get in off of a penalty.
The reality is, that's more than that. They're not going to get in the end zone, so you don't have to worry about it. Does Grambling State score this weekend against Ohio State? Are you kidding me?
You could give Grambling State 14 points for scoring a touchdown, and they would still lose this game.
What if you spotted them, all kidding aside, what if you right now today spotted Grambling State 40? So when the game starts, Diesel, the game kicks off, it's Grambling State 40, it's Ohio State 0. Is that fair? Who would you 40-0? The game starts 40-0.
40-0 with a rolling clock.
They still get
They
waxed.
still cover.
They still get waxed. Ohio State still blows them out. That's disrespectful.
I mean, and look, honestly, it's disrespectful to your fans if you're Ohio State to even book this game. I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
Good day to tailgate.
Yeah. I mean, do you even bother going into the game?
I forgot
you just drag your trailer out, set everything up, and just hang out in the parking lot.
We actually forgot the game started. We actually would rather watch Oklahoma and Michigan rather than watching Grambling State. Do you know where Grambling State is by chance? I asked you if you knew what their mascot was.
I think, isn't Grambling State in Alabama?
Grambling State? You're guessing Bama there?
I think it's in Alabama.
That's a good guess.
Am I wrong?
It's in Louisiana.
Oh.
Grambling, Louisiana.
Grambling, Louisiana.
Yeah. How about it?
Wasn't Grambling State the one a couple of years ago that players posted video from their locker room that had mold growing in it?
Oh, God.
It was truly awful conditions.
Was it?
I think it was Grambling.
That's bad, isn't it?
I think.
Might have been.
I don't know.
Might have been. That's tough. But
yeah, tough weekend.
A lot of cupcakes.
It's not going to be much easier for East Tennessee State facing Tennessee. The fighting Joey Aguilars.
Oh, yeah.
He looked real good in his debut. I don't like these giant spread games. What's the point?
It's going to be ugly.
The point?
A lot of blood.
Get your backups. Get your third strings in there to play by the fourth quarter. I guess that's really what it's there for. It's a depth game. It's a roll call kind of game. Speaking of roll calls, Tolos, get your upset picks to us, 844-FAN-PHONE. And when we come back, this matchup, this fight, if you want to call it that, all right, do you have any interest whatsoever in the latest up-and-coming exhibition boxing match next?
Oh, God.
It's official. Boxing in this country is dead.
Oh,
it's dead. It's gone. Throw dirt on it, bury it. It's dead. I mean, can you name a single elite American fighter right now? Right now, current, active, still boxing? Because these guys used to be national and international celebrities.
I'm thinking. Okay, current. Say it again. Current.
When it was Ali and Frazier and Foreman, these guys were celebrities.
Those were the three I was going to name.
Yeah, well, they're all done boxing.
So you're asking one more time. Let me close my eyes.
Current American elite boxers.
Cole, you host a sports radio show. You should know how to name a boxer, you idiot. Hold on. I'm going to get the phone. Current boxer. One of the Paul's box, right?
That's not real boxing. That's fake boxing. 2025 current champions who are American, by the way. Terrence Crawford. Never heard of him?
I have heard of Terrence Crawford.
No, you haven't.
No, I have. I really have.
No, you haven't. Did you play football before?
No. Terrence Crawford. They talk about him on like ESPN a lot. They've had him on their shows.
Shakur Stevenson.
Never heard of
him. No. Gervonta Davis.
Played running back for the Bills?
No.
Oh.
That's Devonta Davis.
Oh, no, never heard of him.
Devin Haney.
Heard of him?
David Benavidez. Jesse Rogers. Nobody knows who any of these guys are, Cole, because American boxers aren't relevant anymore. All the best boxers in the world are either Eastern European or they're Mexican.
So that's why we're having to do this? That's why? Like, is that why we're having to throw these old guys in a ring?
That's why. The only thing that's relevant in American boxing right now is the upcoming Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight.
And that is just going to be riveting.
Yeah.
Right now, doesn't matter what platform it's on, will you watch?
No.
No.
I will be forced to see the highlights after it's done.
I'd rather watch Paula Dean.
But
I'm serious. I would rather watch anything than that. I just have no desire.
Mike Tyson is 59 years old.
Oh, my gosh.
Floyd Mayweather is 48. Neither one of these, I mean, disregarding their age, neither one of them has had a legitimate fight in ages.
That's where we are, though. Think about that. Boxing's it's fallen that far. I mean, you remember when
it's a novelty sport now.
When I was growing up, boxing was revered. I mean, it was
everywhere.
It was awesome. You know, the Rocky movies were at its peak, and then man, they just I don't know. That's one sport that has I think hit hard times. It just doesn't have the draw.
Floyd Mayweather knocked out Conor McGregor in 2017.
Remember that?
An already old boxer in Mayweather taking on an MMA washed up fighter as well.
Hype around that one. Yeah, I do remember that.
I take that back. Floyd Mayweather has fought since then. He's been in 8 exhibition fights.
And he went to WWE
since
too,
that.
man.
And he fought John Gotti III, as in grandson of the infamous mobster John Gotti. I mean, that's where we are. We're doing these ridiculous things. We got a 48-year-old Mayweather fighting a 59-year-old Tyson. Everybody's going to be hyping this thing up like, oh, isn't it great to see these? Like, this was one of those matchups that you always said, what if? Now we're actually saying, no, this is awful. This is awful fighting. Why are we doing this?
Here's what I would like to know. I would like to know why I should be interested in boxing in general. Like, here's the reality of it. It's not that I dislike the sport. I think I would love boxing if it were like at its peak again. But I just right now, I mean, I don't know. I can't get into it.
I've watched a fair amount of boxing. I'm not a boxing fan, but I've watched enough boxing, and I don't have a clue what actually counts as a connected punch. You know, you watch and you think, oh, okay, it seems like that guy landed more punches than that guy. And then the judge's scorecard comes around and it's not even close to that. Like, what is a punch? What works? So I think we need to, if we can modernize the sport of boxing to the point where on screen, when fighter A connects with a good punch at fighter B, throw up a little
it's like the video game where it goes green, right?
Yeah, like a little pow, something. You know, anything that lets you know that was a scoreable punch. In all likelihood, if the referees deem it not to be later, that's fine, whatever.
Speaking of Wapow.
It's silly.
Speaking of Wapow.
Wapow?
Let's go to the phone lines. Dewey.
Okay.
Dewey's on hold. Dewey, give me your best Wapow.
Wapow.
Ho-ho.
So I turn on the radio and I hear y'all talk about boxing, and I'm thinking to myself, is this Rob Brown show again? Reruns of the Rob Brown show? It's a travesty that y'all talking about boxing.
Do you want us to talk Clemson versus Troy? Is that what you want?
Well, you could, but there ain't much to talk about there.
Okay.
But
so you just answer my question for me. The answer is no. There's nothing to talk about there.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about there. But boxing used to be a thing back in the day. Now it's just garbage.
Yeah.
They got the MMA fighting going on, and they try to say that's boxing. That's not really boxing. That's them just karate chopping each other and throat punching each other. That's not real stuff. And wrestling's not real either. And what's his name? Merriweather and Mike Tyson. They're old and decrepit, especially Mike Tyson. And then that last thing they did last year or whatever.
Jake Paul.
That was a gimmick.
Of course
it
it
is. On Netflix. That was a big gimmick.
That's my point here, Dewey. This whole sport has been reduced to nothing but gimmicks.
And it's sad because boxing used to be a thing you watch on the Olympics and been proud of, and now you can't be proud of it. And then now Merriweather and Mike Tyson are going to fight, and Robin Lund are going to fight over that again over the radio, and it's just going to be a travesty altogether.
Dewey, can I ask you a question?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's on your weekend slate for your college football viewing pleasure?
Well, I'm still trying to find a decent game to watch. I think I'm going to watch the Duke-Illinois game. That comes on at noon. And then I noticed Kentucky plays Ole Miss. So I might watch that. That would have been a good upset pick. But I think Kentucky might beat Ole Miss. That might be a good one.
Oh, wow.
Dewey, since we're running out of time here, we've got less than an hour left in the show, 50 some odd minutes. Can you make a pitch to our Tolos to get in their upset picks?
Ooh.
Get your upset picks in.
Wait. Let's hold on, Dewey. Hold on. Let's start over. Start over. Ready? Hold on. Ready?
Yes, get your upset picks in before 7 o'clock, because if you don't, you'll miss out and then you'll lose, and then you won't be able to pick them again until next week. Oh.
That's pretty good.
Thank you, Dewey.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah, not bad.
Thanks, Dewey.
So far, no Tolos have gotten in their upset picks because Dewey told them to, but we'll give you time.
I do have a question for you. I saw this scrolling during the last commercial break. I want to throw you a little trivia bone, okay? Mm-hmm. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
Tolos, you can play along as well. If you can get it in quicker than or faster than Diesel guesses it at 844-326-3663. Try to do it rapid fire. All right. This was just released earlier today, just less than an hour ago. Diesel, Clemson, Saturday night against LSU sold alcohol for the first time.
Yep.
Other than the spring game.
Okay.
I want you to guess the first, how many alcoholic beverages were purchased. Okay. And then the second number, I want you to guess the total amount of sales from that first number. So the first thing I want you to guess is Saturday night, Clemson, LSU. There were a lot of people there, by the way. I was there. I did not purchase any alcoholic beverages. I was not one of the how many people total in your mind purchased an alcoholic beverage Saturday?
Let's see. I just looked up the attendance for that game was 81,500.
And let me rephrase. I said something wrong.
How many beverages were purchased?
Correct. I said mistake. How many people purchased?
Right.
No.
How many beverages?
How many beverages were purchased in the Valley Saturday night?
Okay, you got to do some quick math here. Out of the 80,000, at least 15 of them were kids. 15,000 of them were kids. So now you're down to 65,000 out of those.
And you got a lot of people going back for second,
a lot of those.
third,
I mean,
right?
it is Clemson, so they're going to church the next morning, so they're not drinking at all. So now you're down to about 12 people who are buying beers. I'm going to say that the total number of alcoholic beverages sold was around 115,000.
You're way off.
Way high?
No.
Low.
Way.
I'm thinking.
No, you are way high. I'm sorry.
I'm way high.
You're way high.
But I was thinking like, all right, out of 81,000, 50,000 of them might have been drinking. And so if each one buys 2 alcoholic beverages inside the stadium,
Let me ask you this.
that's 100,000 beers.
Dan B on the YouTube stream guesses 45,000. Do you think Dan B is close, high, or low?
I would think Dan's low.
Okay. Buckeye Brian says 100,000.
I said 115.
You said 115.
Yeah.
Texter asked, what in the minimum price? $9. Again, I don't know. I walked by a few of them. I didn't purchase any of it, so I don't know how. I would say it's probably $9 or $10 minimum in a stadium like that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So the correct answer is 45,045.
What? Those are rookie numbers, Clemson fans.
Dan B, I mean, he had a cheat.
Pump
didn't he?
it up, would you?
45,045 alcoholic beverages were purchased.
Nerds, drink up. It's football.
Now, of that 45,000, what does that translate into sales? So, this is a gross number, right? It's not
As in
gross.
disgusting number
No.
gross as in
It's
financial
gross,
terms? Okay.
financial terms.
Okay.
Obviously, you didn't. This is not what they profited. This is what they brought in
Sure. This
from
is
the
revenue.
alcohol. Yep,
Revenue.
from the alcohol sales during the game. So Diesel, do your best math possible. If they sold 45.
Yep.
How much they bring in?
That's 450,000. If they're $9 a pop here, I'm not great at the math. At 9 times 45, I'm going to say it's around 385 grand.
467,000.
Woo!
So almost half a mil. Not quite half a mil.
Wow.
So they were 30,000 away from half a mil, 33,000 away from half a mil. I will tell you, I would have guessed it would have been around 500 or so, 500 or so thousand in alcohol sales.
Yeah.
I just tell you this, man. Here's one thing about the whole alcohol at Clemson thing. Yes, people have been outside tailgating, drinking all day, right? They come in, they buy more. I have a wild conspiracy about this. You ready for this? This is wild. I could be wrong. I think more alcohol at Clemson will be sold in a noon or 3:30 time slot than in a night game.
I could see it.
Because people have been drinking all day,
Yeah.
right? They've been spending money downtown Clemson. Diesel, I don't know if you know this. If you're a fan and you don't have that parking right behind the West End Zone, you have to walk 45 kilometers to get to the stadium. And I would imagine that if you're, feeling pretty good, you walk 45 miles in the heat, you're going to be drinking a little while. You might sober up by the time. I didn't see, I was there as a fan. I didn't see a lot of people around me. Maybe the prices are a reason for it.
Jeez.
$9-10 a pop.
But still, that's half a beer per fan in that stadium. I thought they would have drank more than that.
I think they'll drink more in a noon or a 3:30 just because.
Who do you think drank more beer? Who do you think drank more beer? The small LSU contingency or the entirety of the Clemson
I know
fan
it's
base?
crazy. I think Clemson, because let me tell you this, man. I don't know if I've told you this. I wasn't impressed at all with the LSU fan.
There was rumors that they were coming to Greenville and coming to drink the place dry.
You're kidding me? There wasn't. And again, I love their fans. There were some really classy fans. There were some a-hole fans there as well. I actually was sitting in the west end zone corner right beside this purple section. And I will tell you, there weren't that many LSU fans there. I wasn't impressed. I thought there'd be way more LSU fans there.
I forgot to tell you this, Cole.
Tell me.
As I was driving down to Columbia on Sunday for the South Carolina-Virginia Tech
You mean
game.
Atlanta?
What did I say? Yes.
Yeah.
As I was driving down to Atlanta for the South Carolina-Virginia Tech game on Sunday, I saw a giant, looked like it was every bit of 25 feet long.
Whoa.
LSU Tiger Mardi Gras float on a trailer, on a flatbed trailer.
That's fun.
Driving through downtown Atlanta.
That's fun.
It was so cool. I'm trying to get the photo here. So I found it online.
Diesel, they just didn't bring as near as many as I thought they would. I'll tell you this. I was sitting behind two fans, LSU fans. One of them was young, probably a little bit older than me. And one of them was, I think, his dad, in his 50s or 60s. I asked him, I said, why is there not more LSU fans here? You know what he said? He said, how bad we've been in our openers. How bad we've been on our openers. So, hey, funny story real quick. You know who was sitting in front of me Saturday night? We got to talking. He's a super nice guy. A lot of these LSU fans are super nice. They loved, I mean, they were really nice. He played baseball for guess who at LSU? Guess who this guy who was sitting in front of me Saturday night in Death Valley played baseball for? Paul Maneri.
Wow.
At LSU. He was the center fielder. Super nice guy. Never seen him again in my life, but there it was. I wasn't impressed.
That's crazy. I'm going to try to grab a photo and I'll put it up in the I'll put it up on our Twitter if you haven't seen it yet. This thing was driving through driving through Atlanta when those lanes narrow right as you get to Atlanta proper. Yeah. That's got to be scary as hell driving that thing through Atlanta.
Yeah, it's probably tight, right? Probably tight.
Yep.
Smitty, Sports Talk Media Network. We caught up with him earlier in the show, and in case you missed it, we'll have that interview for you next.